Dagger out the Storm, don't you?
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen a lot of Quaps win that, but he didn't
Seen
take
a
Dagger
lot of
first. I
Quaps.
think he took the Scream first.
Yeah, I saw the. Yeah, I think I saw the Scream on one too. So I'm
Maybe there's some
definitely
change.
a little surprised by the dominance by Storm in this mid lane matchup. Like you say, usually the Quap Shadow Strike is enough to at least bully the Storm back.
For what it's worth, the Dagger did get nerfed ever since Quap 4 started rising to prominence. Then Dagger got nerfed, and mid lane Quap kind of became an unintended casualty of that.
About some madman down here. Waving in for these range. He did one earlier where he almost died, but managed to dodge an arrow. But
My man has no regen.
I mean, when you're struggling this much, you're willing to risk your life to get whatever CS you can
Yes,
get.
gosh. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
And you have to know that cooldown because you're not going to dodge that projectile on Gush.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no. Storm got a regen rune too.
Oh my god. And he's about to hit level 6
Yeah,
also.
This Quap is
Level almost
Dude.
4.
It is mega over.
and he's gone 2 points in Shadow Strike, so he could hit level 4 and probably have to get a point in Blink. Yeah, he has to get Blink because Storm's about to be 6, so he's got level 1 Scream. Yeah, this is a tough one.
Oh, arrow.
No.
Yeah.
Full.
High ground miss.
Uphill miss, yeah.
Dude,
The tease.
like, what do you have Blink so you can get back to the lane quicker?
That's the thing.
So
If
you
Storm,
can die
loses,
faster.
if Storm loses his lane, you just kind of go jungle. But
Yeah.
this is a Queen of Pain.
With
you
2
don't
points
have
in
that option.
Dagger, she can't jungle even if she wanted to.
And now he has 6, and
Oh,
he
he's-
can farm out their jungle.
Yeah, he'll farm it out, and he probably still
Blink so you
regen
can get
room
back
for
to
when
the lane
Storm
quicker.
TPs the
That's
lane.
the thing,
So
use
Storm
bounties
loses,
also
if
possibly.
Storm loses his lane, you just kind of go jungle. But
Yeah.
this is a Queen of Pain bounty, maybe some kills even.
The prize is mine.
Could have maybe used a little bit more of that regen, but
Yeah, it
playing in
doesn't-
a safe play.
Doesn't look like Undying's ready to party quite yet, but Makoto's staying off the map, which I think is causing stress for everyone.
Yep. And yeah, I mean, Quap does all that she can do, which is just farm in dangerous places in lane.
Oh my
Nice.
god!
Beautiful.
Dude, Makoto.
His TP's on cooldown for 45 seconds again. No.
I mean, some of this is definitely Jamesy not playing as well as he could, but Makoto is killing it. He's taking advantage of it still.
Yeah, it's always a bit of both. Cause,
Right.
I mean, both players have probably played this exact mid matchup countless times.
Dude, he's in his head.
Yeah, but I don't think it's ever gone this comically one-sided for either of them ever.
Well, maybe in their favor when they're playing pubs, against
Yeah.
people like way below their MMR,
Middle tower
You know,
is
we went to
under
that
attack.
break. Did we queue into a pub instead of the actual game? Is that what happened here?
I know you were testing out this fancy overlay earlier, Parker, but this is a real game, right?
Yeah.
Dude, he got hit again!
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. But is
He doesn't have
for
mana
it?
to
Oh,
chase.
he lived.
You're back in it. Come on, Jamesy.
I mean, just seeing that arrow land again was just like, you feel bad for him.
Radiant structures
Dude,
are
he's level
fortified.
4 still.
Especially because he's just left his Tidehunter down bot, which should not be
Oh,
this
this is big.
one-sided.
This is big. This is the moment. This is the moment.
Can they get it? Makoto's going aggressive while being ganked here.
Lol.
Oh!
Okay,
Oh!
Makoto may regret this.
No!
She doesn't have enough
No!
damage.
Jamesy! Oh my god! He had the fairy
Oh, and
fire
more
still.
Oh, and he solo killed the
That was
Morphling.
Ravage.
Oh, it was Ravage. Even
I
though
mean, it's still solo.
it's still a
yeah.
solo
Yeah.
kill.
I don't know, y'all. This is really bad.
This is as bad as the game gets. Yeah.
Good lord.
Oh. And they're going like fighting builds too, right? Like it's a blade mail coming out from Spectre. I don't know. Dude. How many arrows?
Oh, she has an urn already.
Yeah. Yeah.
This tower's also about to die.
Yeah, I think they want to
yeah.
ensure that it doesn't get denied. Yeah, that's a problem.
Makoto's coming in. Everyone's coming in. Oh, Jamesy.
No.
Arrow's on cooldown,
Okay.
but it's still just too scary.
This will just secure the tower.
Radiant's middle tower is
Makoto
under
doesn't want to
attack.
use too much mana here.
Radiant's middle tower
And the real
has
problem
fallen.
is there isn't that lockdown really for this storm. Like it's spear kind of. Like if you can get a blink on Mars, but yeah, it's
like
tough.
I feel like Quap just comes back, tries to defend the tower, gets bullied away, and it gets like one or two CS and has to go back to base, then TP back in, and it's just. I mean, the net worth kind of says it all for the Queen of Pain.
I'm surprised that she's still opting to max Dagger, because there's no lane anymore for her. There's like
Yeah.
nowhere she goes. No one's gonna die to her rotating either. She just needs to farm.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
I guess.
It's not like it's also just not particularly good against heroes like Tide, you know. Like
Yeah.
Tide's got Kraken, Storm can maybe disjointed even. Like you're not. It's not like Dagger is amazing against any of these heroes.
You have to deal with Soul Rip heals as well, so you just need all the burst damage you can get, and that's not happening.
God, he's got to be so careful too, because there's so many heroes that can jump on him when he's playing this low HP game, right? Look at the D ward there. 4,000 gold lead at 8.5 minutes.
Yeah, the vision game from KezQ's been good, having those aggressive wards around the mid lane, just making life tough, and it just doesn't feel like Spectre's really being pressured that much either up top.
I'm surprised that she's opting for a Blade Mail build even, because it seems like the rest of her team has the early game under control, and they don't really need to win early either. I feel like late game potential is neck and neck between these two drafts.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think that the one scary part is you have this Undying that there's a lot of answers to tombstones for, and to want to keep the pressure on. Like, just so that way you don't even have to worry about that, like, that eventuality of dealing with them. So, but yeah, I mean, Undying could also go a Meteor Hammer and start, like, scaling, probably.
Oh, hell yeah. I'd be totally down for that.
They can do whatever they want at this point. Sims is just hanging out down here. Has the 2 points up in Ignite. I think that it's just like the real story of this game is that nothing has really gone the way that Cignal Ultra wanted it to, and now all of their skills are like not set up for it either.
Yeah, and Boom's just so much stronger. They have like a support farming mid while they jungle,
And this
nice setup.
is free over and over.
Yeah,
They make it look easy, but that's like a pretty hard combo to do as
Yeah.
well.
Right.
so no Bounty Rune entangles, instead opt to just continue bullying this Queen of Pain, but now a lot of movement towards this bot tier 1 tower.
This Storm getting like an Orchid quickly can just break this game too, it feels like. That's going to make Morphling Co-op's game just so difficult to play.
Another issue is that they've got Mirana too, so setting up for those kills, nowhere is going to feel safe when she starts popping ulti and going in.
Sorry, Boom have this Tide up top who's just unkillable with this fast hood. Like, what do you do? He's just sitting up there. If you want to kill him, you probably have to bring 4 heroes with the Stars Arena, so it's just not really worth killing him or committing that many resources up here, but it may be one of your...
Onto the Queen of Pain.
Yep.
She's dead.
Kodo's on the way to that 10-0 mark already.
6-0-1.
And Jamesy's
Boom
on
is
the way
on-
to the 0-10, right?
Yeah.
Boom's on
called
the
it.
way to 0-10 right
Yeah.
now. There's the Mortimer Kisses.
There we go. It's the 4-man gank, and it's not enough with the Soul Rip.
Didn't even need to Ravage, but there it is now.
Oh my God.
They're going to get the kill on Reese. Dagger into the Mars as well. This is a clinic.
Yeah, this is one of those you calling earlier. Not yet, but I can see them calling this without even losing a Rax.
Yeah.
If it goes like 0-20 and like a 15k lead.
I mean, what, like, because the sort of, the exit plan is getting a big, like, morph, and then you get all their abilities or something like that, but the heroes that they have aren't even particularly amazing for, like, turning around a fight. It's like Mirana Arrow, kind of, or Tombstone, but he only has 2 points in it anyways. And they have good heroes to deal with the Tombstone.
And I feel like they can just itemize on Boom when you're ahead just for the Morphling now. Like, once they see him going E-Blade, they can all just kind of tank up. Tide's already got the hood. Spectre's just going to... Spectre's Blade Mount. Like, that's pretty nifty against the E-Blade itself, too, so... Constant pressure going to come out now as Makoto's on the hunt with this Orchid.
The one thing is they don't have a good road, but they do have a
That's
Tide
true.
Hunter. So I can just, like, walk into it, and you can't really do anything. Oh, who's gonna die?
They're eyeballing the Snapfire mid, but instead they spot out the Mars. Ooh, pulls in the wrong way, so the arrow does not connect, but you don't even need it. Everyone is so on that team.
He's going for the Yules. It's what they need. Like, it sets up for stuff. It can potentially save him from the Orchid. But
I don't even know who the easiest target to
This is
kill. I hope it's not.
I hope it's Midas. I hope it's Midas.
I hope so too.
Oh,
Actually.
it's Fred.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough gold for that.
Yeah, look.
Dude,
The comeback Midas.
the comeback Midas.
I believed. Come on, Jamesy. No, that would probably be throwing even harder than what he's already done.
Can we check out Jamesy real quick again? See, I wanted to see how many deaths he actually. So he's 0-7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I thought I was exaggerating when I said, you know, these are mid plays that go 10-0 or 0-10, but apparently I wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, you nailed it.
I didn't actually expect anyone to go 0-10. 10-0 I would have believed.
What about the team? They went
Yeah.
0-10 and a bit.
All right, they've kill here.
Tombstone
Although
the high ground?
That is scary, yeah.
He's just
I don't-
stalling.
Does he have Tombstone?
He has 1 point.
Hey, they're on the board.
All right.
Let's go.
It's a
Yeah.
5-hero rotation to kill an Undying who's the lowest net worth on the team, but you take what you can get.
Truth. Yeah, I mean, you got to start somewhere, you know? 9,000 gold down. They're working a bank account.
From
That's
downtown. Turned, well, he has 0 points in bulwark anyway, but doesn't matter. It's all magic damage.
what, Jamesy?
How bold.
He knew the Orchid cooldown, I guess. Wow, that was really bold. That's one of those moments where it's like, is it worth it to just Ravage? Because he had Blink Ravage
That's
there.
true.
He could have gone for it, but it's probably more valuable to save it and set that up for Roche.
This Ogre also only has 1 point in Bloodlust, so you can't even really stop people from pushing that much.
More points up in Ignite. Chase?
There's the Blink reveal. Driving Radiant behind their own tier 2s.
It looks like they want to fight here, which is a little bit crazy.
Maybe some Hail Mary play.
Tombstone up on the high ground. They got vision. On out afterwards. Chase down. Storm found the back line. Gonna blow up one. Ravage afterwards.
Oh my god, that Starstorm.
And, well, they killed the Undying, but I think everybody else is going to go down,
Yep.
with maybe the exception of Morph. But Abet, no, he too will
They've got
fall.
the Vessel.
He's got so many charges on the vessel also.
Oh.
Oh.
One more time. Damn.
Yeah, he can't even complete like a major. He has to get the Manta on Morphling now, which he already has the Yasha, but a Mirana already having Spirit Vessel before you have a first major item completed is the worst feeling as a Morphling.
Yeah. And you're going to get this Manta and just not feel that scary or strong. Like, he initially wanted to queue up the E-Blade and have this comeback potential from the kill threat of an E-Blade, but times are tough.
DD up top into Roche. See it? Oh, the Yules, though. Let's go. Get back on
Yeah, I
the
think
map.
DD's what they need to even consider being able to Roche here, but they're not really in any rush to kill Roshan. It's not like
yeah,
a
who's
key
killing Storm to
objective
begin
for it.
with?
Yeah,
That's true.
I think they're much more concerned about just maintaining map dominance and not letting like Morphling
Yeah.
free farm jungle and push out lanes.
Oh, he's not going to get the ward, is he?
Nope.
Oh, he might.
Yeah.
He might.
Oh,
Hey!
last hit. I kind of wish Makoto denied it anyway.
You know, I've told this story before. I used to play soccer, and I lost one game 17-0 as the keeper. I was the keeper, and I lost that amount. And you got to find the good things, you know? You get that ward dewarded, you go back into the next game, things feel a little bit better. You kill Kezcute a couple times here,
Do you?
or you don't. You know, you could just not also. But you find something that you can sort of hang your hat on. Oh my god.
Do you though?
Yeah, maybe not.
What was the comeback equivalent in this 0-17 soccer game? Did you win? Did you win the next game really hard or something? Did you retire from soccer?
We were losing games 17-0. Do you think we won any that season?
Well,
No. We didn't win anything.
You know, they still got to have their orange slices at halftime.
That's true.
You know,
Exactly.
and their Capri Suns.
They were so good.
Is under attack.
Oh my god. You brought me back right now to high school.
That's what I
It was
remember about
high
playing kids
school?
sports.
It was a
I
high
thought
school
it was like an
17-0.
elementary
Oh,
school or
okay.
something.
No, man.
I thought you were a child.
I think they have like the friendly rules, like you can't
Oh,
actually win.
yeah.
If this is elementary school, they don't let you win
That's true.
17-0. You have to go easy once you're winning.
But
like,
high school is no
5-0.
mercy.
Yeah.
It's true. Listen, this isn't my fault. I'm telling you right now.
Well, I mean, you were
That's
the
on the-
keeper, though.
It's on the defense. Come on now. Surely.
You're the last line of defense in that position.
Yeah, I was the last one many times. Well, 2-22 with a 16,000 gold lead.
So we're all voting for another signal kill, right? Come on, Van.
It
Don't
ain't happening.
kill everyone.
Is under
It
attack.
ain't happening.
It ain't happening.
Ooh! No. They got
They're just going to keep camping around this cliff, not letting anyone move out.
Ancient rune again. Oh?
Oh, he wants that Snapfire.
He left the item.
Yeah, he started TPing immediately. The fan brace is lying around.
Oh, go get it. More flame.
Did he not tell anyone? Okay, Moran is going to pick it up.
Yeah. Nice. Wait. Okay. Sometimes you wait for a second if they like just walk past it. That is something that I feel like I've noticed more and more often. Like, you know, Dota players, they want to be like super efficient. So they go for that last hit and they're already walking away from the camp. And then like an item spawns and you know carries are like, I can go to the next camp. Do I want to go back and get it? You know?
It's a Philosopher's Stone. I'm not going to pick it up anyway. Long zip.
Okay.
He interrupted the spear with that arrow. That was nice.
Jeez. And then the haunt afterwards, but nothing else.
What odds would you give Cignal right now?
Radiant's courier has been killed.
I mean,
100 to 1.
Radiant's top tower.
yeah, I don't know.
They've got a Spectre. Like if it was someone, if it
Yeah.
was some other carry that falls off, then maybe. But it's a Spectre.
I'm not even sure how to like calculate odds like that. Like, how much money would I need to get to like?
Well, I guess what % chance of winning would you give him? Like
Oh yeah, like point.
less than 1%?
Less
Yeah.
than
Yes,
1%.
yeah, like point 0.01.
Yeah.
Tower is under attack.
I agree.
Is under attack.
Barring any active god, it is probably 0.01%.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy year, you know. These
This is
things
true.
could happen. We're in the bunker.
We're in the bunker.
Oh, chase down. You gotta give him a little bit of credit though, sticking in it till the end.
Radiant's
I
top
mean, best of
barracks
3. It
under
is
attack.
the nature of Dota. Sometimes you just get stomped in a game.
Right.
I've seen teams get completely stomped and then win the best of 3, so this is not necessarily a sign of what's to come in Game 2.
But it wasn't even the draft. Like the draft seemed relatively even.
Oh, this was a super outplay, yeah.
Yeah. GG.
GG.
Before
Wow.
the racks?
For the racks.
No, it went down.
I mean, they called it regardless.
That's true.
Radiant's top
Damn.
barracks under
Damn.
attack.
Yeah, it's like you can't really even talk about drafting a game like this when it was just such a heavy outplay.
That's kind of disappointing, as we have already, you know, this is the playoffs now. This is not the group
Right.
stage anymore, and yet there's still this much one-sidedness, which, I mean, it happens, I guess.
It's elimination too, so
Also true.
It could be nerves, you know, there's a lot of things that could be going on. First game of the, you know, the actual bracket, we're into it. Maybe they can pull it back around, because there were just like weird mistakes that were going on. So I want to see them come back. I think Cignal Ultra can do it in game number 2.
All right, well, we are going to go to a quick break, but hopefully Cignal kind of takes that time constructively before we jump into game number 2.
The thing I value the most at the end of the day is always going to be winning.
I thought that if I lose TI,
For me, at least, that fire has always come through when I needed it the
because
most.
if I gave it my all and I didn't win, then that's all I can do.
If you don't feel that fire when you need it the most, you probably don't want to win.
Welcome back to the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13, where we are hiding here in a bunker to stay safe from Boom Esports' just raw show of power. Gods, who would have been your BTS.GG/Monster MVP of the last game?
Mikoto.
It's pretty reasonable.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Yeah. Mirana too played really well, I think.
It's true, but Storm got 2 solo kills before the Mirana even showed up.
Yep.
Well, and I will say that there were some plays by the Tide, too. Like, I think all of them are in contention. I'd agree Makoto, but Tide also, like, he held down that lane down bottom, got the first kill on Morph, and then was able to hold top with, like, nobody able to really come and contest him. So, I don't know. They all played really well.
So if it wasn't a draft issue, then they just... What time is it right now in Southeast Asia-ish?
It's call your coach time.
It's call
Get
your
him on
coach.
the line.
Oh, okay.
Get a little bit of a rousing speech.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rally the troops. They need ROTK on the line.
Yeah, coach needs to whip him into shape. I don't. There's not much coach can do as far as strategy goes, but
Right.
definitely just like play better.
Or like,
Play
that could be
better.
a manager thing, too.
and yeah, it's like end of the day, it's like Cignal have done well to get this far, and a promising kind of young team coming out of the Philippines, and I think Boom just are that much more experienced and kind of on paper talented lineup. But Cignal can play better than this.
Yeah. That looks really rough. I mean, that's kind of what we're seeing the whole way through.
Man, look, that's not even that much higher than Mikoto's average Storm Spirit performance. That's shocking to me.
Now, if those QOP numbers were green, we'd have a different conversation. It's a very different situation than he's used to. But, I mean, not getting treads until like 15 minutes almost there.
Yeah, he didn't even end up being in any of those undying kills.
He did not go 0-10 on the Queen of Pain, though.
Yes,
so
my predictive
your
was
prediction
off.
was not right.
In shambles.
What is that Tide Hunter set, too? That thing is crazy.
It's the Dire
looking.
Tide Shimmer thing.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta play some more Dire Tide.
Yeah, it's awesome. It looks really good on like all the blue or green heroes. It looks very natural to have that Dire Tide Shimmer thing on.
Maybe this is the success that Boom have been able to reach through Dire Tide.
Maybe.
I will say, Boom, some of their picks, like looking at some of the successful heroes of the tournament, Tide as well as Undying have kind of stood out as like 2 of the heroes that picked heroes, are both like 60-65%.
How's that Snapfire win rate on Cignal
Yeah.
looking right now?
Continues to drop.
I'm gonna look that up right now.
Plummeting.
Actually,
I'm telling you.
it was their first pick yet again. They opened the draft with it.
Well, and again, it's like it feels like it can be good, but I don't know. If you are just going to be playing it strictly support, that might have been a better game to play at core and pick something else instead of the Mars. I don't know.
It's the most picked hero from the entire Monster Energy Dota Summit 13, so it's the most picked for a reason. These teams know it's not like they are wrong about picking the hero. It's just, I mean, for Cignal Ultra specifically, this hero is definitely not working.
Well,
I don't know.
you were right. Over this month, it's been picked by them 19 times. It's their most picked hero with a 21% win rate.
Yeah. Does that
So
capture the most
two
recent one?
wins in those 20 games?
Yeah, no. At least
Sorry, 4.
Yeah, 4.
4
Right?
wins. My math is terrible.
That
That's fine.
that is brutal, and all their top 3 heroes are all sub 50. Then it's Mirana with a 43. Then it's Ogre with a 31, and then their 4th most picked hero is Venge with a 54. So let's hope that they pick Venge whenever we go into game number 2 and the draft number 2 just after this break. let's get into the draft of game number 2 in this elimination series in the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13. It's Boom Esports crushing Cignal Ultra in game number 1. And, well, Cignal Ultra, to their credit, did not pick Snapfire, so things are already looking much better. Murana was their second most picked hero with also... It was a 40-something% win rate, which, you know, that's excusable, but it wasn't a draft issue to begin with in game number 1. It was just Boom playing on a completely different level.
And then they take the ET in response to the Murana and then immediately into Spectre. So now this is that thing again where you pick the super duper hard carry and then you just ban out a bunch of counters and let that carry you to victory.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to use first pick. You always want to use that second pick when you are first pick to pick up like a big core, like you mentioned. These bans just protect you so well. And there are kind of a few standout heroes I think that just fit, like the Spectre, which is just, you know, probably the best meta carry right now in a lot of ways.
Yeah, as long as you ban out the Viper, I think, for the most part, you're always feeling comfortable picking Spectre.
I will say, and I think this is something that always gets talked about now in these regional leagues, is from watching a lot of China Dota over the past couple weeks, watching some NA, it is very different again from Southeast Asia. Like, all these heroes are sort of played in different priorities. Saw a lot of, like, Sven Omni IO as combos, and that also just could be sort of a player-specific thing with each of these teams, too. But, you know, seeing that disparity amongst the different regions, it's whetting my appetite for when we eventually get LAN Dota, when we can get out of the bunker. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I think the lack of intra-regional combat is definitely, like, each region is developing like their own. They're not even really paying attention, I feel, to what other regions are doing.
Yeah. I mean, it usually the LAN tournaments are the true test of like which region's idea of how to play was correct.
Yeah.
Even if that region doesn't win, usually there's a team or two that everyone adapts their play and,
Right.
you know, mimics a bit. You know?
And it would all homogenize, like, at some point, especially during the end of patches, because
Yep.
you had so many tournaments over the span of a patch. But now it seems like everyone's separating even further and further.
And to get back to the point about patches again, those tournaments are used as a metric of how good are these
That's
heroes,
true, yeah.
because they're playing against each other. So now, how are they going to do the patches? Like, are we going to actually know which are the broken heroes or not? I still have some ideas, but I don't know if I'm right or not.
I mean, you have a vendetta against Sven, but Sven is
Not being
absent.
picked at all,
Yeah.
exactly. You know, and that could just me being silly also, who knows? But I'm surprised we haven't seen a Viper ban yet. I guess that tends to get banned like in the second phase, but it feels like against Spectre it's just really good to get rid of. I don't know.
Yeah, especially after James's last game. Just get a hero that you literally, there's nothing that could go wrong with the Viper. You're not going to lose the lane on a Viper.
Right. Go to the jungle afterwards if you need to.
Yeah.
Leveling up another toxin
Dire
anyways.
team pick.
No, though, the AM.
AM's definitely an interesting one. Like, I wouldn't consider it an amazing AM game just seeing those two heroes.
No.
Maybe for Spectre it's fine, but it's not like you see Spectre and think, oh yeah, AM's the counter Spectre.
Unless they want to go for a Storm Spirit again right now, and they're like, yeah. Mikoto's really, I mean, like, I don't think Dreamisel did literally anything last game. He pressed Haunt like twice.
Yeah.
That would be like the ultimate disrespect if you pick Storm Spirit like right now. Like, clock's already like kind of okay for setting up kills. You could follow up with Murana. It's just like, we don't care. We're, you know, counter pick us all you want. I don't think they're gonna do it. That'd be crazy.
Radiant team pick.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Banned last game. This hero's
Dire team
been on a tear throughout the tournament.
Okay. I sort of feel like we'd moved away from Doom to some extent.
Yeah.
And I am not sure how I feel about it here, because now, what does that mean as far as like our matchups? This is the mid Doom to deal with the Void Spirit, I guess? Is that what we're looking at, probably?
I think so. I think Mid Doom sounds good to me. It's been popular with some teams in different regions.
Let's see if Signals has had a history of this Doom and what they do with it.
Because otherwise, like, you're running something like a Clock 5, right? And Murana offlane, most likely.
Yeah, the Clock Mirana lanes make sense to me.
Yeah.
One of those two heroes as a 5 position would have to be the Clock. Mirana as a Ferk,
Right.
really. Unless it's like a very clear dual stun combo like a Raid. I just
That
don't.
sounds bad too.
Yeah, that sounds bad. There's Mirana as a 5 in the safe lane just isn't it's just not a support you run in the safe lane. Yeah, Mirana Clock, or maybe it's a Clock 5. That is possible.
It seems they have an even split between it being a core and offlane on Doom, so no real clear
10
direction quite yet.
seconds remaining.
I think with the heroes they have, it kind of has to be. But regardless,
5
the
seconds
hero still
remaining.
seems good to me. Like getting into drums, blink, or something like that, and then maybe a BKB afterwards. Start jumping around, stomping people, and then doom them. And then, you know, if you wanted to get a little cute with it, you can get the Aghanims, the new break on the Inferno Blade. It's pretty nifty.
It's true. Against a Spectre, for sure, that could be very nice.
Yeah, definitely some decent Doom targets in some ways. I feel like Void Spirit can be very tricky to sometimes get the Doom off, though, and
Animation, and then he'll dissimulate, or
Yeah.
Where'd he go?
he'll walk away, and then you're just constantly doing this every like 2 seconds.
and if you jump in and you get Yule set, like if
Oh,
Void Spirit has
yeah.
a Yules, you're gonna get Yules, and that's gonna set everything up for you. So
Isn't that a weird pick into Spectre?
I've seen this PA pick. I mean, SEA teams love PA for one thing, and I've seen it a few times into the Spectre. I think
10
it's
seconds
not like
remaining.
a matchup like wait, it's not like a hero you're picking up like as a
5
direct
seconds
counter or
remaining.
to match up against Spectre necessarily.
One of the reasons I like it is just because Spectre is one of the few carries this patch that does not build MKB immediately.
Ooh, that's
Unlike so
That's a-
many other carries who are just like, I mean, why would I build anything else other than MKB? And a little bit more confident.
yeah, and you, like late game you build into Satanic, which allows you to kind of lifesteal through the dispersion damage a bit.
Okay.
So I think ultimately you're not countering Spectre, but your Spectre does have a tough time against the PA.
I'm just thinking back again to the like matchups that we've seen a couple of times. It always reminds me of like Bo3 and the fact that dispersion damage now goes
Radiant
through
team
magic
back.
immunity, so your BKBs aren't even as good of an answer anymore, right? So like, you know, I guess that's again so you don't have to worry about dispersion at all.
But this is against 1 Spectre, not 5 Spectres.
That's fair.
I will say that Bo3 has given me a lot of information on mechanics.
Right? I love it. It's so good.
But in terms of real-world applications, I think it's far and few between.
Well, I think the other thing to think about here is need to come out at a decent timing because like she can't really do anything once Inkswell's out there too. Inkswell's kind of annoying for her. Why is nobody picking Tiny?
Yeah.
This hero's crazy, isn't it?
Telling you, SEA, all the regions.
They just have their own ideas, and Tiny, another hero that's being picked a lot but isn't necessarily
10
crushing it in
seconds
terms of the win losses. I think he was hovering around that 40%
5
mark.
seconds remaining.
Slaughter is an interesting takeaway too. I guess just with the PA.
Yeah, I think the synergy with the minus armor is just too strong, and Slardar in general has looked pretty solid on this patch as an offlaner. Like theoretically, they could do like a Slardar Mirana lane. That sounds pretty spooky. Synergy with the PA minus armor. So
An offlaner here for Boom as well. We're gonna get like the +1 with the
yeah,
ET.
their lanes are pretty flexible.
Radiant
Void Spirit
team
can even flex into the offlane 4 role. Most likely, I'd say offlaner, but
They could Darkseer on Boom. That could be kind of cool.
Cignal looking
10
for
seconds
their
remaining.
offlaner for sure.
Right.
Especially given the last few bans. Probably a hero needs to stay alone because I imagine this Mirana wants to take advantage of COG setups and get arrows on other lanes
Dire
rather
team
than in the offlane.
No.
Okay.
So this is what I was wondering is like, are they going to pick a 5 last? Or are they going to do position 3 Ogre? That seems unlikely.
So mid Doom 3 clock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like 3-4 Mirana clock. Or it's the 3 Ogre,
10 seconds remaining.
which seems weird to me. That like
Seconds remaining.
can kind of like set everything up.
I mean, 3 Ogre with a multicasted Solar Crest, and you have a Phantom Assassin on your team, that could be pretty hilarious.
Be crazy. I guess the other thing that you could do here is some other setup with the Grimstroke too. I always think of like Legion as an interesting answer.
Yeah, they don't actually have anything
soulbind.
any soulbind combos. I mean, Grimstroke's just a good support regardless, I think, even without the soulbind target. Inkswell is just amazing.
So they want to
Okay,
switch
so
it up.
who's the mid? Is it going to be the Void or is it going to be the Quap?
I think it's the Quap here. They're gonna avoid the Doom mid hurting him, I guess.
Wait,
Yeah.
Jamesy's the Ogre.
Oh. Are we seeing some mid ogre, or maybe
What?
Van's just the Doom player and they're gonna send Van mid? But
Has he been demoted? Like, you're gonna play an ogre this game.
you're playing 5 bloodlust bot.
No.
Can't be trusted in there. I mean, is there such thing as being a Doom player? How difficult is Doom, really?
I mean, maybe you're a mid player, you just don't want to play it. Whereas James is like, yeah, I can do some Aghanim Scepter Ogre Magi, you know.
Okay, well,
We'll see.
we'll see. We'll
I don't think Ogre wants to go mid versus Quap.
no. You could probably outreach on the dagger for what it's worth, but we'll see how this all pans out as we go to a quick break before we jump into game number 2. All right, everybody, welcome back to game number 2 of this lower bracket elimination series of the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13 between Cignal Ultra versus Boom Esports. Boom Esports with a resounding game 1 victory. And what do Cignal do? They respond with a mid-ogre.
All right, they're doing it. So
They're doing it.
I was wondering if they're gonna put him on 5, but it looks like this is the decision. I don't know. So what's the idea of the build here? Like, are you gonna try and max out Ignite and then like out harass Makoto?
You can disjoint the projectile if you get an early point in Blink.
But then you have Blink level 1 against Ogre, and then you're just like punching an Ogre.
But with Dagger, can you really do anything against an Ogre anyway?
Yeah, I feel like Shadow Strike's scarier than Ignite in general.
I mean,
30
so
seconds
the
to
cumulative damage of a level 1 Shadow Strike. Okay, so give me Ogre's base regen right now.
it's
I want
8.9.
when he's standing under the tower though.
Oh, that's a good point.
I don't know what it'll.
So he's getting 3. So
5.8.
it's 5.
Okay.
And he's also got like a Tango there as well. God, what's the build? Do you just like rush a Midas? Is that terrible? This seems weird.
Yeah, this
This
is
is
very
where
weird.
you need like an OD pixel because he's played some mid over
Some
Magi.
Battle Fury probably
Yeah,
on mid.
you'd be like, you get the Midas, bust out the double Battle Fury.
Yeah, you have to get a Midas at least. Otherwise, there's
Yeah,
no reason to give Ogre
I
mid
mean-
lane farm.
I've done this.
that
I've
makes
played
sense.
this in Turbo. You go Midas Dagon 5, and then you just start like shooting lasers everywhere.
I feel like
but
Midas and Turbo is not great though, because the cooldown's still the same as normal
you
Dota.
shut your mouth.
Whoa.
Okay.
He baits him with the 0 creep block to
Okay.
get it under the tower.
Ignite connects. Shadow Strike at level 1 for Makoto. And they're just brawling. But Makoto's taking way more damage.
For now.
For now. True.
I don't know if that will stay the case. Yeah, that'll be an interesting lane.
Bot lane, it's the 5-position Clockwork. Top lane, we got the Mirana and the Doom. And Kezcute just slapping away.
And gone are the days where 5 positions were like these squishy int heroes like your CMs and Lions. Nowadays, Undying, ET, Clockwork, it's these tanky strength boys who have kind of claimed the 5-position role.
Right.
it once again made the safe lane safe for carries, because carries would always get like these Crystal Maiden who's standing like 500 units behind the carries, like, I don't want to get close. I'm not bullying a Tidehunter. What are you talking about? A Reese?
Part of the reason that it ended up happening too is because you have like this situation where you don't need as ended up becoming like a 4 as well in tow. Like you couldn't go the poverty 5 position anymore. Now I feel like you kind of can with some of these heroes coming back into the meta. It's like so important that you can at least win the lane. So I actually like this. This is looking kind of cool, right? If you're able to out regen the, like, she's gonna have to ferry out more regen than the Ogre will probably if they can keep his HP sort of at a high-ish level so he's not in danger of dying.
Yeah, I think the lane gets harder. Like here at level 3 is where it's going to get pretty hard to play, and Ogre's just naturally going to be forced to buy more regen than Quap.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Theoretically, I would say. I just don't think the Ignite by itself is going to be enough.
Okay.
I mean, I don't even really so much care about the lane. I just don't know what a mid lane Ogre does with all that farm. Like, so what's the multicast item that you're going for? You get the Midas, sure. Then what's the next offensive item that will help out a Phantom Assassin the most? I thought Solar Crest seems reasonable.
Yep.
I guess Rod could also be kind of cute against these slippery heroes like a Void Spirit and a Queen of Pain.
Look at this. Look
Wow.
at this damage. I mean, they're both getting pretty low. So I think one of the ideas you play around your first 2 spells is Ogre. So you can go like mobility items and then just run at heroes, right? And you can start trying to like put a huge amount of punish on and like play like a roaming Ogre kind of.
But these are heroes that are not easy to roam on. Like a bat, kind of getting harassed. Cogs come out. FBZ.
I think it should be fine, right?
Yeah, she doesn't want to jump into that.
I think that you actually can roam on the Spectre early. Like, Spectre's gonna be... Fire Blast does a lot of damage at a couple of levels up there. Once Jamesy's like 7 or something, I feel like you can do some good damage.
Oh, that's good. He Fire Blasted the setup for the Ignite projectile connecting so she couldn't Blick disjoint it. Oh my god, this bot lane.
Yeah, this is a constant brawl going on. Gen being expended. Room's left to TP back to base, and Makoto is
Dead.
okay.
Nice. All right, way better for
And
Cignal.
that, if they, oh, he doesn't have ball. Let's say if he can get a 4-minute rune, that'd be fantastic. But Kezcute gonna grab an invis and run at Jamesy.
Get away.
Yeah, he was protecting that rune. I wonder if he actually just started moving to his spirit after getting the stomp, if he could have actually killed Ogre. Because Ogre has insane base regen, but, I mean, once you've got natural order, who cares?
Right.
Turns out mid Ogre is solid for now.
In the lane.
The lane plan is with that Midas comes out, which you got to kind of assume is part of a core Ogre build.
Trying to get one other item first to like make some moves, like I don't know, some type of boots and then like an urn or something. But the fact that he doesn't have boots already, maybe wouldn't. I don't know.
Now, historically, it was the Aghanim Scepter. Yeah.
Oh,
So it
yeah.
was a fun one. I remember Universe playing offlane Ogre, rushing some ags.
See how it goes. I mean, Mitt to make sure that Kezcute's still in this area a little bit.
Hyde puts up the ink swell. Gonna get the stun on the Clockwork, but a bat jumps in right after. That's the kill.
It does feel like a tough game for some of these mobile boom heroes with all the stuns and lockdown the Cignal side, but hit down bottom, chasing for another
slapping.
kill. Woo. Yeah, ET packing a punch.
Oh, he doesn't even have natural order yet. Yeah, wow.
No, he just hits hard. He's a strong boy. Like the Dune's having a good game as well, you know? He's sort of going for this just survive. Jamesy's gonna have another Fire Blast in a second. Makoto, like, kind of has to be careful. Jump away.
You can see the Ogre's net worth, though, is not in the best place. So even though the CS was not all too bad, the Ogre's just been constantly buying regen.
Right.
And is getting the levels you'd hope for. But like right now, it feels like this is like a 3-position ogre that's going to have to run around being a playmaker or just utility hero getting the solve the PA. But with the focus on the first 2 spells, it means you're not going to have Bloodlust as early on as maybe you'd like.
Only one hero gets clipped by the Astral, but it looks like that'll be enough damage. Arrow does actually stop the...
Oh! Oh my god, the taunt!
An Aether Remnant.
FBZ, what a player.
Doom comes out on the Spectre.
Spectre is... basically juke the Doom even without the TP support, it looked like.
This is officially no longer good now for Cignal. They needed to get something... Like, these last couple fights, Ogre needed to be in there with them. Like, making things happen. Because otherwise he's just AFK farming and not doing anything.
Dude, that's what it's like for a mid-ogre. It's like Tinker pre-BOT. Like, sure, you have a lot of levels on a hero that can do a lot of damage, but still, it's all about getting that first major item.
Yeah, I think this game's still overall going okay for Cignal. Like, it's going to turn into this, like, PA versus Spectre farm battle to some extent, but PA is farming just fine.
Yeah, that's fair. It does look like they're going to lose right there on the Doom. So a quick and easy bring down.
And FBZ hits 6 off of that as well, so he can start being a...
And afterwards, going back for phase boots. He's going to be active in this game. Ogre.
Nothing in the quick buy yet. Nerys snipes the haste rune away from Mikoto.
They've done a good job not giving, Mikoto that explosive game we saw in game 1. Like, it's like, alright, let's re-room, win his lane, and dominate. Let's make sure that Boom have to, come together as a team to win the game.
It's feeling very strange so far, but with the heading down to the bottom lane, and again, giving the Void Spirit up top like he had the Tidehunter last game, you get a very clear idea of how they want to play Dota, and ensuring that they're always giving their carry the safest place on the map.
Yeah, it's like 2 games in a row where roughly the same time they send their offlaner to the quote-unquote safe lane. Because, they feel like Dreamer Cell's just going to have an easier time somewhere else.
4 Cignal heroes converging on the Dire mid lane. Kezcute deftly sidesteps some arrows, and he's going to outrun
This is really bad.
Grims here. Can't get a Cogs.
The Mud Golems broke his Tranquils.
Still gets away, and Hyde with 1 point in stroke gonna try to drive back this mid lane push.
This is so good by Boom. Like, they're just pulling him around on string. Like, Spectre's free farming bottom, Hyde cleared the wave, like, and now they might actually just get this kill here. Sonic Wave?
Doesn't have it.
He doesn't have it, oh wow. But Dreamcell comes in with the Desolate damage and 1 Ogre. Now Grim's gonna get silenced and killed. And killed.
Nice. And then they get the ward immediately afterwards. Like, this is just really clean play from Boom. Last time it was Cignal Ultra, like, having some flubs. This is Boom playing well.
And now they're going to get 3 bounties off of this, or no, it'll be a 2-2 split.
Is under attack.
And you could not ask for a better first haunt as a Spectre. First build again.
I mean, for Cignal, the Silver Alarm, they don't see the net worth difference, but it is an even game still, even though they lose that fight. And they have a window now with Haunter getting aggressive again, but they don't have that good playmaker. Like, they could smoke up at 6. It feels like they're kind of limited in kind of plays they can make.
So this is that other thing, too, that we've seen recently, is, like, they don't necessarily that's farming. So they need to make this move right now. But you can farm up Ancients so much more effectively with Blade Mail on Spectre, but it does leave her open. If they're able to find her.
Clockwork's only level 4.
Yeah, it's such a hard gank to get.
But if they can get it, everybody's here. Power Rangers.
They got the arrow.
Big hit, big kill, and Sonic Wave!
Sonic.
Holy crap! Mikoto.
Oh man, that Inkswell just barely pulled off before Spectre died, and so she gets the stun. Sonic Wave clips onto all 3.
That hero to initiate. So Spectre's able to run all the way back to the tier 2 tower, almost lives. Luckily the Mirana hits a nice arrow. I think if they want to make that play, they need to bring the Ogre probably, because he's like their only, like...
He's not going anywhere until he gets 600 more gold.
Dude, like...
Yeah, he's not smoking. He's got his own plan.
See, this is the thing, is like, like you said, you have to go for this item, right? It's what makes this hero into a core better, but you also want to be moving around making moves, and when you don't do that, then my game falls apart, and then it's 3-9.
Yeah, I would have rather they just not tried to gank Spectre, just accept they're going to free farm the Spectre, free farm your PA, give Clockwork a lane to get a 6. Like, Clockwork ain't right now as a team. Until that point, I just don't think they can make good plays around the map. Any play they make is going to get heavily punished.
Dyer's top tower.
This always feels nice as a Grimstroke when you can just get like a little bit of farm. He's got 4 points in Stroke and then 3 points up in the Inkswell as well. It's like pretty freaking farmed on the Grim, or at least levels wise.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem for Phantom Assassin whenever she finally does participate in these fights. Because so much lockdown provided between the silence, the stroke slow, the Inkswell movement speed, and the stun. And they're still maintaining control of this mid lane tier 1.
Grimstroke's such a cool hero when he gets off to a good start.
Yeah, Stroke has like a 4-second cooldown, which is wild for a spell that's so good at spell clear. Illusion gonna tank one of the Aether Remnants, but he gets bounced in
He was in range.
with that ET ultimate.
Get him back.
Okay. Well, it's back up though. They're gonna be careful about overcommitting.
Sonic Wave is up also.
It's just gonna eat up that creep and then waddle on out. Orchid's still a little ways away from Makoto. Definitely not as dominant a game as we saw last time, but he'll get it at a decent clip. And this is going to be into, you know, or Battle Fury.
Midas online for Ogre. Let's go. Wait, is he going to get a multiplier on his first one? I want to find out what they're smoking up right now.
Make it happen.
He's got 6 on the Clockwork.
Wait, Ogre's just like on the other side of the map still.
Yeah, he's in farm mode. I mean, you got Devour, you got an Ogre Midas, you got PA top net worth.
Late game secured.
I mean, PA's top net worth pre-Battle Fury. The farm just accelerates with Battle Fury, so...
There's some stuff going on. If they can get Makoto here, this is great. No, they can't get him.
Too slow.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Arrow? No. Weird things happening.
So hard to get Doom off of that cast time.
God. Completely outplayed. And Jamesy now also in trouble. He got his Midas off, but is he going to be able to get out afterwards with it?
Oh, it's Stroke just a little bit short.
Looks like Reese also is going to be chased. Arrow will connect, not quite enough. Big hit though from the Ogre.
Multiplier, let's go. All right. Hook shot connects onto the ET as well.
Jamesy, it's your time.
Is it though?
Time of the Ogre. It's just okay.
It was upon us. Now Grimm's gonna get stunned and killed. Hyde gets the credit, and Void Spirit's like, okay, it's fine. I'll take over the mid lane space-making responsibilities from you, Queen, as you are dead. Van, at least gonna bully out Hyde, but not before it takes a pound of your own.
Easy. Dude, he's fine with that.
They're going to get 4 bounties, yeah.
I mean, again, like you talk about, though, this is PA. And with the Devour, with the Midas, it could be worse.
I don't know who stops PA from getting kited, though. Like, Clockwork is a support, so he can't really do... Yes, 2x multiplier, let's go! She'll be able to jump in, but the Boom heroes are just so difficult to keep in one place. And Spectre's going for Blade Mail first item also, so even if you do manage to isolate her, she's not easy to kill.
No, the plus side is this point and click stun from Ogre is pretty nice for setting some stuff up, or like being that follow-up after a clock jump in.
Yeah, they can... If they can lock people down with the stuns, the Doom, they've got a lot to buff up the PA too.
FBZ gets the DD room bottled. ET splitter connects. Aris. Oh, the hook shot.
Starstorm afterwards. Chase down. Ketsuke's in trouble too. I think they got him here. Big old chase as Jamesy is going to run after him. Fire Blast does not get a multicast. And backs away. Stomp is still going to land. Punch, punch, punch. Down bottom.
Oh.
Abed
Jumps out, but he gets clipped by the stroke.
Oh, and ET gets out back towards mid. Jamesy couldn't get the stun again.
And Quap also still makes it out as well. Gets spotted, but all the crowd control's gone. And Phantom Assassin gets executed.
Back in again. Makoto's here, doesn't have his Orchid yet. Trying to make a little bit of space, and Jamesy's going to try and TP out as well. Will be able to make it. Let us know how they feel about it.
Definitely, I feel like seeing some of the weaknesses of Doom, which is like this hero got really strong and had a lot of farm, but it's just running around unable to doom or kill anyone,
Yeah.
it feels like.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He needs a better creep also. Like if he gets the centaur, now he has the blink, so it makes life a little bit easier. But still, the cast animations are brutal.
Yeah, like as soon as he got scouted in that mid lane, you're just getting kited. Like Void Spirit has too many insta mobility spells. Quap can
Even
blink
James,
away.
he can't get Fire Blast off.
Yeah, it is
Which
very difficult.
Do we have anything in the quick buy for this ogre yet? He's been he gets mech into Greaves most likely because he got the arcane boots. Okay.
When I saw the arcanes, I thought he was going to go Aether, and then like
wait, what happened?
Going to Hex or something.
What happened to his energy booster?
He did buy one, right?
He did buy
I saw
one,
the arcane
yeah.
boots, unless he insta disassembled and sold it.
Yeah, that must have been what it was. Maybe he realized they wanted the mech first, like to be able to get into the fights right away.
Okay. That is not the stun creep, but they still managed to get the kill on Kez. Cute.
Oh, big jump through. That's a lot of damage. And they are going to go down with 2 Doom as well. Did I hear that?
The old Spite Doom.
Okay. Now the run-in. Phantom onto the Ogre.
Crims is like, of course I'm intended to hook my Ogre. And the Doom's not going to do anything. Dream Missile shows up again in the mid lane. That stroke actually does a lot of damage to Jamesy.
Dude, Jamesy's crazy. What is he doing? Oh my god!
That mech.
Player. Oh. Dude, pulling him in?
Yeah, that's curtains.
Oh, Jamesy! It wasn't meant to be. Dude, these guys are insane.
Yeah, that feels like one of those things in pubs where it's like, I'm just going to stick around and...
Heister, it gets you every time.
Yeah. He's just trying to play with him a bit too much, and Boom aren't having any of it.
I mean, it's because he has the mid laner instincts, but Ogre is not a mid laner hero, so he's like, I should be doing something, right? Right? Like, because I'm full HP and full mana, my team's getting surrounded. But that's just not his responsibility.
Man, poor Abat's probably just like, guys, I'm so farmed in this PA, like, I can act. He's probably saying, guys, I can carry this game. I'm so farmed. Just bloodlust me, get a solar crest, buff me up, and I'll carry this game. Just, you know, try to die a little less.
I don't really understand the mech, though, because they don't have a great 5-man team against Boom, because you've got great wave clear between ET and Grimstroke, so you can't really get on a tower easily. And again, like, they're having trouble getting kited by everyone. Again, blink onto Kescute. Arrow does not connect.
Can't quite get the follow-up there. And now the leash up onto 2. In trouble. Jamesy gonna die again.
Every time they're going for these kills, it's like kind of an overcommitment, and the counterplay from Boom is there.
Grimstroke has been really clutch.
My Shadow times out. Grims is in the wrong place at the wrong time. He will be the 3rd death.
Yeah, that ain't looking great. I mean, again, it's still only 2,000 gold lead, but these items that you have on Boom are just so much more effective for fighting right now.
Yeah. I think PA opting for that kind of greedier build too, not getting the earlier BKB to fight with, but going for the Deso. I think even when you're going for this non-BKB build, you need to be fighting at some point. You're the strongest hero on your team, and this is like this kind of key mid-game stage. Like, they need to fight around the PA. They can't afford to just have this, you know, one hero AFK farming while the rest try and fight.
It definitely has that feel of, like, at every point in the game, first it was the 3 heroes smoking up without the Clockwork 6 to go for the Spectre. Then it was, you know, Ogre being involved in the game, but then also not having that PA there. It's like...
Oh my god, Kescute has a force already. Gets out of the cogs, no arrow connection. Essence String gonna keep him alive for a little bit longer.
All right. Yep, PA, if they can win a fight here, they get Roshan. That's how Cignal can get back into this game. And PA is freaking strong.
That's the thing, too. This, like... The strongest part about this Ogre core is that once you actually start to get online, you can just keep rolling, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have such low cooldowns.
Like, I think this game is still very much anyone's game if Cignal can get a lot out of the next 5 minutes or so. They take the 2 on mid tower now. Like, Ogre's gotten levels. I assume he's got a few points in the Bloodlust, so...
Right.
The Bloodlusted PA is incredibly strong right now.
Again, everybody, if you're wondering, bts.gg/monster MVP. Some new contenders possibly here. Oh, Jamesy. Well, as I say it, it's like he might be going down again.
All right.
Friends.
Well, the support stuff play.
Does get the stun and the lift up afterwards with the Yules. God, it's so hard to play. And they get to sleep after the Sonic Wave. Getting a kill.
You know, he's looking like an Ursa or something, just getting kited constantly. Unable to find a good ulti. I feel like we haven't seen a good Doom this game.
And now they're gonna Roche?
Yeah. Taking it away from PA. This is what Cignal needed to get Roche themselves this game, I feel like. This first Roche especially.
See the arrow, they don't have hook shot available. 20 more seconds, and like these illusions with Spectre getting the extra peer damage. That's what got him the Aegis.
Yep.
Just like that now. 2,000 gold lead, but more importantly, getting that Aegis and not giving it up. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Like you said, there's still this very farmed PA. She's 4,000 gold ahead of the spec. Or 3,000.
I don't care about her. Give me an Ogre click. Click on Ogre. That's the only hero that matters to me in this game. Still going for the full Greaves. Wow, okay.
Interesting timing. BKB done and Deso. Like, there's some things going on here.
About to hit level 20.
Oh.
Wow, yeah, wow.
Interesting. What do you guys think? Blur evasion, or are we seeing the armor reduction?
Probably armor reduction.
Yeah, there aren't very many right clickers on this team.
There have been a couple of PAs that I've seen that have taken the blur, but yeah, that's right.
It's a lot of evasion.
And Makoto hiding out here can cut the wave the next time through if he wants to, but it looks like they should be able to secure this tier 1 bottom unless there's some type of contention. There's a smoke up from Dire.
Sonic Wave up in 10 seconds, but Boom's going the opposite direction.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures
And
are
maybe
fortified.
hoping for the defense that you're going to see from Cignal and trying to catch them when they TP.
Yeah, Boom definitely showing they want to fight, but don't really want to fight on their side of the map. They've got this Aegis. They're going to
Radiant's top
press
tower
some lanes
is
out,
under
but I think
attack.
Cignal
Dire's bottom tower is under
the
attack.
best option available to them, which is pushing up bottom.
Radiant's top tower is falling.
Dude, it's even like 3x less efficient if you're an Ogre.
He's got this.
Oh, that's what you get.
You hate to see it.
That's what you get for that one.
Hate to see it. Gonna spot? No.
Well,
Arrow? No.
did give him his Greaves though now on Ogre, and that's pretty important, you know. Like the Orchid, helping out with that damage over time. Clockwork though.
I still feel like they don't win a 5-on-5 engagement, even with Greaves, though.
Yeah, they have to win like pickoffs.
Yeah.
It's weird the way that they have to play this, I think. Or like if you start the fight by PA just blowing somebody up, right?
Yeah. I think these backline supports are big. Grimstroke is like the biggest enemy you have.
That was pretty good. Haunt comes out afterwards, trying to run down one, but the Inkswell runaway, Jamesy, Guardian Greaves,
nice
now
soul
stuck
bind.
together, and well, this is what you were talking about, Neil. As soon as it's a 5-on-5, it's over.
I mean, that's a good Doom if PA is there. They're not fighting around PA again. Like, I don't think you can do any initiation if PA is not there.
Well, she's kind of there. I don't
She
think she
shows up
wants to
now.
be
She was top lane, yeah.
Yeah.
Before when that fight
Oh, she got
happened.
baited. She's going into this fight, activates the BKB, but
Not good.
this is for an Elder Titan who
good.
4-staffs out anyway.
Run.
That's your 10-second BKB.
Yeah, don't even take down the Aegis. Mikoto goes in, has a Lincoln's active still available, but gets bounced by the cogs.
And
Dies.
she's done. Just like that. They might get one here, but no, Void Spirit's going to get away too, it looks like.
Yep, and it costs him Mirana buyback. Grimm's now last man standing, gets stroked, puts a urn on FBZ, but he's probably going to survive through that, and Grimm's will end up managing to get out. Flare does not clip.
Really good play by Boom.
Yeah, I don't know why the Phantom Assassin decided to fight after everyone was dead.
Yeah, everyone was dead. Doom was used. All right, let's go.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's one of those situations where she had to pop BKB, right, to get away from the combo from Void Spirit, right?
Well, right on that cliff, like, ET was chasing her, and she was like, maybe I could just get a quick ET kill
Right.
and get out. But I mean, ET's got a 4-step. Unless you literally one-hit dagger, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, and that's I think the thing is like it's that desire to make something happen because you had to pop your BKB, and you know it gets you sometimes.
It's definitely a like team outplay thing where it's just like Cignal's looking a bit disjointed, whereas Boom, you know, the reason they show a hero mid that can get gone on is because they see the PA top farming, so they're just willing to take any fight when the PA is not there.
Hey, just about to time out, but Haunt going to be available in 25 seconds as it brings her back to full mana. Reese gets Yulesed, and that is going to be his dieback death down for 70 seconds now.
This is a Scotty Spectre, and Haunt's going to be up again pretty soon, I think. So yeah, game is hard. Game is really hard. Look at this swing. It's just 20-minute mark. Everything is starting to really just head into the favor of Boom. Looking like the better team here.
It's true, didn't Bloodlust, but doesn't matter. Hyde gets insta-gibbed anyway.
Okay.
BKB activation. ET splitter, gonna slow down people, but not before he dies. And now Abad gets 2 kills with that second BKB charge.
Still feels like he's playing a little bit scared.
Oh, and
even
a fat
4v3.
multiplier.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
they want to fight.
Greaves.
Oh, what a sonic wave.
Damn. The bring down, and now they're inside of it. Doom on 2-1.
Void Spirit.
Oh, Jamesy living. He's got 6 charges still. He can
Blink
bait him in.
up.
Bait it. Bait it.
Makoto's
Makoto.
going for it. Yeah.
Oh.
Stick.
Oh.
Okay, well.
Successfully baited.
I thought something was going to happen.
Well, that was another pretty solid victory for Boom. That was without any Aegis. It had already expired.
Radiant's middle
But
tower
the
has
Spectre is just... head-to-head, this PA and Spectre have not really fought yet. And Spectre's just willing to show up to the fight after PA's BKB ends.
Yeah. I mean, PA got the 2 supports, had to commit BKB, so it was a 3v4. Boom basically jumped in 3 versus 4, knowing that PA couldn't fight, would just get blown up. So things are looking pretty grim here for Cignal.
Oh wow, I didn't know Illusions applied Dragon Skill.
Yeah.
That almost took it.
That's been amazing.
Now a Titan Sliver.
This is looking rather rough now. And again, you can like I think it's pretty easy to sort of like think about memeing on him with the ogre mid and all that. But it feels like it's much more the choices that have been made in the game that have gotten us to this point in game number 2 than strictly like draft things.
Sure, but it was their last pick hero.
Yeah,
Is this a final pick ogre that changed the face of their draft?
Radiant's
No.
bottom tower.
no.
I'm with you, Gabe. I am not. I don't think Ogre mid was necessarily the best pick, but very much so. Like the key problem for me with them is just how they're playing as a team and some of the decisions they're moving around the map.
I would give it like 30%, 30 maybe
Yeah.
up to 40%.
Okay,
Like,
that's fair.
that's where I'm at.
Yeah, like the draft, the Ogre mid didn't help him, but it's not like the core of where this game went wrong.
A different couple of plays and Ogre would have won this game. Maybe.
We gotta support the innovation.
Sure,
Yeah.
fine.
I want more Midas Ogre mids in my pubs, you hear?
Absolutely. The patch is getting long. You gotta try out new things.
Radiant's courier
No
has
more,
been
no more Snapfire. They've gotten rid of it. Arrow? Hey. Okay. They're not gonna follow up.
They're looking.
Well, they want to. He's about to have another step.
Wow.
And dissimulates. BKB, Van gets the Doom off. Splitter connects on a bat.
That's melting.
Yeah. Sonic Wave also pure
The
damage.
ET's just punching the PA.
Oh my god. Got completely destroyed there. And granted, they did end up losing the Void Spirit, but more and more go down. They break the TP. Jamesy gonna fall to the ground and be brought down by Dreamer Cell.
So clearly PA should have gotten the blur evasion for the ET. For
Yes,
the 5
that's
position
true.
ET.
That's true.
You should have gotten the blur evasion.
How much damage does he do? It was like a 300 one or
Yeah,
something.
I don't know how many people he got with his spirit, but that was pretty preposterous.
Chunking that PA.
That's what you like to see.
Radiant's middle tower has
Yeah,
fallen.
yeah, well, I mean, with Scotty
Radiant's
on
top
Spectre
tower
at
is
this
under
point,
attack.
and like Basher, Blade soon, this is looking like a better performance from Cignal Ultra, but same result potentially.
I'm glad to see Boom go forward. These guys are, you know, one of the, to me, the top 3 teams in SCA potentially when they're at their best.
Radiant's middle barracks
I was
are
surprised
under
not to see
attack.
them in the upper bracket. They lost a tiebreaker game yesterday
Radiant's
to
top
Among Us,
tower
I
has
believe.
fallen.
That's how they ended up here. But they're definitely a scary team for anyone who drops down from the upper bracket. It's gonna be like, you know, you're worried if you're having to face Boom.
It's the type of team that if they suddenly get hot, like you said, top 3 finish is not at all outside of the realm of possibility, even higher.
Yep. Definitely a team who can make a big run. They have got to finish out game 2 here, but I think we're looking at one last big hurrah from Cignal, who have smoked up but are too late to the Roche party. They may still try catch him by surprise.
Tuck an arrow out there.
Wow, that would have been a very brave. I'm surprised they're even still fighting this, actually. All 5 heroes jump in from Boom. BKB activated, the Soul Bind, keeping the Phantom Assassin locked in with the Doom. Can't jump anywhere. Dream is still getting low, but the Sonic Wave will finish off the Phantom Assassin, dead for 100 seconds. Jamesy, the mid lane ogre, next to fall. And there is the last hurrah, I suppose.
Chase down. Give him one more punch. Oh, nice stomp.
Yeah, style point.
Radiant's middle barracks
You tell
are
him,
under
man.
attack.
Oh no,
Oh,
Makoto's not
God.
happy with it.
And GG. Well, they got that stomp. If nothing else, you can't take that away from them.
Can't take it away.
Eat a little bit of cheese as a victory celebration comes out, and Boom gonna move on. And with that, I do believe that that means that we are no longer going to be seeing Cignal Ultra.
Elimination. That is rough indeed, but it was a clear victory. So seems that we are going to be moving throughout this bracket. As yeah, so say your goodbyes to Cignal. It's a hell of a performance, I suppose. Mid ogre, not gonna forget that one.
Yep.
But we will go to a quick break and then come back with a breakdown of game number 2. Welcome back to the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13 Southeast Asia region, where we have said goodbye to our first team in the playoffs, Cignal Ultra. As you saw in those highlights, Boom was just on form today. Leaps and bounds beyond what Cignal Ultra were prepared for, unfortunately.
You know what's cooking? Boom!
Boom.
That one's so good.
Not a
Love
guild
it.
reward, unfortunately.
I know.
Just Lakad Maratag, the Eta, Prosta, Nishta. And then what's the...
YOLO!
Yeah, YOLO, that's right.
We just started in this game.
Yeah, we've heard it quite a bit, but not going to be hearing any more from Cignal Ultra. Boom. I'm still saying that the Ogre, you guys were being very charitable to it. I think that Ogre mid was not the play. If this is your last pick hero, and he builds Greaves first, like, you could have just swapped it. You could have just set Doom mid, and let him get the Blink Dagger, and then send Ogre 3-position offlane, let him get a Greaves. That's what the traditional 3-position item and traditional mid lane item is.
How dare you?
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm not going to give it the benefit of the
How
doubt.
dare you go with the, the mainstream way of thinking about Dota.
True.
It wasn't great. I'll agree with that. That's all I got. End of statement.
How dare you two? I will not have the Ogre mid
So
be
it was great.
besmirched.
Is that what you're saying?
It was perfect.
It's perfect.
It was just what I
Flawless.
needed.
No issues.
Dang it. Unbelievable.
It did not lose the lane, as comically as the Queen of Pain did in game 1. So in that regard,
Yeah.
it was a step up.
Still kind of lost the lane
Still kind
in
of
a
lost
little
the
way.
lane.
Yeah, it's like the Quap died to a Mirana leap under tower, but, Quap still outfarmed Ogre, so
Truth.
it was like a super late Midas, so.
Well, and that
Yeah.
was the thing too, is like if you're gonna go for this Ogre, like don't you and you're gonna like go boots and you're just gonna sit in the lane? Is that really the play? Like don't you rush Midas if you have boot instead of like if you get boots you move around. If you're rushing Midas you stay in the lane. And he like got the movement item but then like still on Midas.
And then win defensive items. So then, like, what's the point of being an Ogre if the only thing you're multicasting is a Midas?
Right.
Where's the fun? He did get a Yules at the end. I don't know if he offensively cast it a single time.
Can you multicast Greaves?
You
No.
can't. any defensive item, like you can't even if you defensively cast a Solar Crest, it won't multicast.
Oh, it's too bad.
So it's a bit of a shame that we didn't see like even a Dagon. I would have been totally down to see a Dagon or something.
Go
like
out
a
and
little
style
laser.
is
Yeah,
what you want.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's like Palpatine shooting his lasers out.
Unlimited power.
it's like you wanted to criticize the Ogre mid, but in a way where it's like, he was still enjoying
yeah,
himself.
right. But he didn't even make it like visually exciting or
Yeah.
anything. But yeah, Boom will move on, and it was pretty much in their court the entire time.
Oh, interesting. Everybody on Boom is in the same guild except for Dreamocell. He's in guild KFC.
Oh well.
Unfortunate. We got to be careful clicking on those guild things. Those can be dangerous.
There is a report functionality, as I've
Right.
been told.
Positive mental attitude, bros. You love to see it.
Abat did have a very, very solid farming performance on the Phantom Assassin, that's for sure.
Yeah.
635 GPM.
He did. I mean, I don't know. It's hard when it's like it's always a team thing, but whether it's criticism of him or the team, but he didn't fight ever.
Mhm.
At least not until it was too late. Like I think he needed to fight. You can fight with just your Battle Fury. You can fight with the Battle Fury Deso. It felt like he didn't want to show up until he had the 3 items with the BKB as well.
And that sort of also spoke to me of just like the problems that exist within the team of like linking up when their power spikes were all happening together.
Yeah.
And like making that big smoke rotation before the Clockwork gets his level 6 because they felt like they had to do something, and maybe that was that they saw the Spectre coming in to take the stacks, but whatever the case was, like it just did not work, and that's why they're out. Poor guys. But
We can also take a look at the Monster Energy MVP as voted by you guys. You can do it if you go to bts.gg/monstermvp. Mikoto, Dreamocell, FBZ, Hyde, Kescute, all of them are up for grabs, but the MVP will go to...
I'm gonna bruise myself.
All 5 of them.
Everybody,
Hey,
Mikoto!
it's Mikoto!
I love that.
That's good.
I feel like I was in a game show for a second there.
Dun 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 dun! It's Mikoto.
Come
Congratulations!
on down, Mikoto.
You just won
Oh,
bragging rights.
That's right.
Because I believe that is the only thing up for grabs, but still, it's a democratically elected MVP right here, and hell of a Storm Spirit performance in game number 1. Literally tilted James D into picking mid ogre for himself, and some look at that dead Queen of Pain body. That was all Makoto.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
was nice.
The way he and Hyde played together was definitely fantastic.
Oh, and this one too. This was where it looked bad that he was going to go for it, but then his team came in and smoked him out as well afterwards.
Farmed the hell out of this stack.
I love this. That's the best MVP highlight reel I've ever seen.
It's so good. Oh man, he's not even in this one. Unbelievable.
I mean, this game too, I think he really kind of showed what he can do in like a more even game because, you know, at 20 minutes in, this game was kind of anyone's to take, and he was the one showing up, counter ganking whenever, you know, Spectre got smoke ganked, and he shows up with seeing like 3-man Sonic Waves, so, you know.
Yeah.
He showed he can dominate from ahead, but also dominate when it's kind of on even footing.
And he was the player that you were looking out for even before this series started. You were encouraged by his performance in the group stage, just overall how he's been playing for the past months, years, and he delivered.
He's the best player in Southeast Asia.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear.
Really? That's a big statement. Because I was gonna, you know, I made a statement about somebody else.
Jeez. I don't know if it's too early in the morning for hot takes.
That's fair. Well, I think that we might have an interview as well. Did you guys hear that as well?
Yes, FBZ, perfect. Let's take a look at what the winners have been up to, how they're feeling after eliminating Cignal Ultra and surviving. FBZ, can you hear us? Oh, never mind. We'll get him in a little bit.
We're trying to make the connection. It's through these AM radios.
Right.
You know.
Let me tweak the frequencies a little bit.
Hello, are you there? Hello.
This is an oscilloscope.
Gotta make it work. See if it can make it happen.
What do you think is the modern day equivalent of those ham radio people? Ham radio people seems to be like a thing that was like in the 60s to 80s. Are you familiar with this concept? Oh, ham radio is like amateur.
Pork?
No,
Oh,
I actually
okay.
don't know what the ham.
Ham or ham?
Ham, H-A-M.
Well, you're being a ham, you know, when you're putting on a big performance or something.
Maybe. I'm actually not sure what the name origin is.
Okay.
But the concept, it was just like a bunch of amateur radio people who would like broadcast their own frequencies.
That's like us.
Exactly. So I guess Twitch is the modern day equivalent of ham radio people.
Yeah.
But it was definitely like a popular thing in the 60s to 80s to be like a home broadcaster.
So that was like the War of the Worlds thing that went on. Was that the thing where they do like radio plays and
Kind
stuff
of.
like that?
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. So it's not like disc jockeys.
Right. I don't think it was like music or anything.
Okay. Are they like fighting over the same frequencies to try
No,
to get like...
apparently they were like it was a very collaborative kind of thing where everyone was very respectful of one another, and it wasn't like, you know, dog eat dog, like my megahertz are stronger than your megahertz, something like that.
I like that. I think these were probably the units that they were using.
That's what I'm
back
thinking.
then.
This is what reminded me of it. I actually don't know what an oscilloscope is used for.
I think they said that these things actually work too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oscilloscope. I'm Googling that as we speak.
I see like a giant like CRT tube kind of thing. This is where like the little wavelengths would show up.
There's that one back there that actually you can see stuff on it.
Oh yeah.
What is that?
Drive level polarity.
Oh, a CRT? We can get some melee going? Yeah.
It's a tester.
Oh, tester. Okay.
Interesting.
An oscilloscope, previously called an oscillograph, and informally known as a scope or an O-scope, is a type of electronic test instrument that graphically displays varying signal voltages.
Voltages, okay.
Okay.
We got to learn all this stuff so that way we can use it to keep ourselves alive through this nuclear winter.
When we're going to have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Repopulate the Earth.
This is what we're going to be broadcasting through Twitch on for the rest of the survivors out there, all you people.
We're going to be going back, like broadcasting to Justin TV at this rate.
Yeah.
Get the old tech back in.
Well, enough from us. Let's hear from a winner. Let's hear from FBZ of Boom Esports. FBZ, can you hear us from here in the Dota Summit Monster Energy bunker right now?
Hello. Yes, I can.
Perfect. So glad to have you join us after a solid victory as you eliminated Cignal Ultra. How are you guys feeling coming into this playoff? I know group stage, you were kind of on the edge, making it into the playoff stage, but now that you've made it here, did you feel confident that you would be able to win your first match versus Cignal?
Well, we did pretty bad in the group stats, and we wanted to just focus to get back on our form. Yeah, we try hard as possible to win the game.
Are you guys feeling pretty good about your performance today? I mean, it looked fairly easy for you guys out there. You feeling like you're back on track to make a run here through the lower bracket?
Yeah, we feel pretty good with our performance, especially game one. But game two, we did a little bit of mistakes. So yeah, there's always room for improvement, I guess.
You looked like you're having fun out there. It was pretty cool.
I mean, you talked about some of the mistakes in game 2 in your bad group stage. You guys had, I think, 8 draws. You just had a bunch of draws. For you guys, how do you look at those mistakes? Like, what do you do to improve on them?
I think the group, it's a mix of things. Some games we try new draft and it didn't work out, and some game we just lack of discipline, I guess, in late game. Yeah.
So, really important question here. Dire Tide. We need a rating from you. 0 out of 10. What's the rating for Dire Tide? Because I felt like you guys had. I saw a couple cosmetics there for all you.
I don't really play it then.
Yeah.
But I guess 80, it's pretty fun.
80 out of 10. I like it. I love it.
Yeah.
So I want to hear your opinion. I think Makoto's like one of the best players in Southeast Asia. He's dominating mid lane every game. Who do you think is the best player in Southeast Asia?
Easy question.
So, um, I don't know, maybe Abed.
Okay.
Abed's got like grandfather status at this point. Like every single, it doesn't even matter like what role. It seems like Southeast Asia players have always held him in high regard. He was one of the first, or one of the most successful exports, I guess, in different regions as well. So it's a good answer for sure. Well, FBZ, it's a pleasure to have you join us. Hopefully we get a chance to see your team progress even further throughout this bracket, but congratulations on taking down Cignal Ultra and dodging elimination.
Thank you.
Bye.
Solid Void Spirit performance from him in that last game, and seems like they are aware of their shaky group stage. Whole bunch of draws. Sure, you didn't outright lose to any teams, but you also did not beat any teams, so they are working on that right now.
Yeah, and I think that's those long group stages. It's a time if they mentioned they were trying some new drafts or at least had some bad drafts. It's like, well, that's the time to do it. Sure, you'd like to be in the upper bracket, but at the end of the day, they're still in the tournament.
And loves the Dire Tide. Can't get enough of
80
it.
out of 10.
I'm pretty sure I'm at 8 out of 10, but I'm going to say 80 because that's in my heart right there.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to jump to a quick break, but when we come back, we will return for yet another series of the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13.
thing I value the most at the end of the day is always going to be winning.
I thought that if like I lose TI, my career was in jeopardy.
For me, at least, that fire has always come through when I needed it the
Because
most.
if I gave it my all and I didn't win, then that's all I can do.
If you don't feel that fire when you need it the most, you probably don't want to win.
Welcome back to the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13 bunker. We are staying safe here on schedule, which means that we're actually going to be taking a bit of a longer break as we have completed the first series. Gotta make sure that, here we're sending, we don't have this instant communication available. So, gonna go to a 15-minute break, and we'll come back for the next series, Neon and 496, after that.
Yeah. Well, before that, we'll have... yeah.
After
See you, like,
is a
next
very
to-
general term.
We're going to have a 15-minute break, then come back for a 40 show where
Right.
we're going to go player by player. We're going to go, attribute by attribute and really break down every little detail about these. No, we're probably just going to dick around for a bit.
That's the way,
Right.
Monster Energy Summit 13. That's what you're getting here. It's all about the entertainment for you people.
Category these days is just chatting. What are we doing in the Dota category? We will change our category after we'll get back to the games, but stick around. We'll be back after a break.
The thing I value the most at the end of the day is always going to be winning.
I thought that if like I lose TI, my career was in jeopardy.
For me, at least, that fire has always come through when I needed it the
Because
most.
if I gave it my all and I didn't win, then that's all I can do.
If you don't feel that fire when you need it the most, you probably don't want to win.
Welcome back to the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13 online,
Ooh,
where we are ready
give it to me.
To crack open a
to
monster.
crack one open. Give me that. That was
Nice.
rich.
I realized, we're like 3 or 4 hours in the broadcast, and I hadn't had a Monster Energy yet, so I was like,
That's right.
that's
a
going
good
to
point.
change. That's
Why
going to
didn't
change.
you remind me before we went live? What the hell, man? I could have had one too.
I haven't
Oh,
done
wait
a
a
show
minute.
from the studio in a long time. Right here. Help yourself.
Perfect.
Um,
Saved.
Yeah, I haven't had a Monster Energy in a while. I missed it. It's good. I'm
What-
glad
what-
we're doing events here again.
What flavor did you go for there, Gabe? Because if you had
I
to,
don't know.
if we had to do rankings, think about rankings.
Okay.
Then obviously you're gonna have tiers of stuff, right?
Tiers,
You know,
yeah.
we
S
would have
tier.
tiers.
Monster,
S tier.
Monster Rehab is
S tier, okay.
is S tier. Yeah.
And you're cracking open what's that?
This one is an Ultra Paradise, which I haven't heard of before.
Okay.
But it's one of the zero sugar ones, which I tend to like. The zero sugar
Those
ones
are
are
good.
kind of my jam.
Okay, well, we'll try to iron out that tier list, but right now, let's go to another tier
That's
list
good.
that we might be able to help determine. We are going to be ranking Dota 2 neutral items. Now,
Oh boy.
I'm sure, as we explained before, there is a set schedule that we're abiding to with this tournament bracket. So in between games, if things end quickly, like a 2-0 where Boom Esports just crushes another team, then we'll find ways to keep ourselves entertained, because here in the bunker, we've got to find ways to keep ourselves entertained.
It's tough sometimes.
It is tough out. It's hard out here.
Yeah.
So what we're going to start off today is a neutral items tier list.
Oh, and there's a community rank we can see afterwards, so we can see how
Oh,
we rank
okay.
against the community. I think so.
Oh God.
I saw that button at the top, but we'll look at that later.
All right.
That's.
I
that's
say
no
we'll
good.
start out alphabetical. We'll go as the items appear. So
Yeah.
we'll take it from the top. Arcane Ring, gentlemen.
So
How-
what's the baseline? Because
Ye-
obviously, tier 5 items are gonna be better than tier 1 items.
True.
Well,
I would say the
We're-
categories there. It's how situational it can be. Or will there always be?
Yeah.
Will it always be good? Like something like Illusion Escape. What if you don't have any illusion heroes? It's
For
a
sure.
high tier item, but doesn't make it always good. So I would say universally applicable versus it's almost always useless.
And in the position in the game that you're in, also so obviously, I think a tier 1 item that like Faded Brooch, for instance,
Okay.
people keep that until the late game. People
True.
keep that for forever.
Okay.
So I think that's the way to think about it. So for Arcane Ring,
Arcane Ring.
I never feel good with an Arcane
True.
Ring. Like you do get that extra int, that's nice.
Yeah. If you're an int
armor
hero.
also, right? Is it, well, even if you're not an int hero, like for certain other ones, it's pretty good too. So, but I don't know. I think I would put it in a D category. I think it's just a bad item,
Whoa.
personally.
I would C personally. I think.
I'll back up the C. I
'Cause,
think because it's tier 1. There's some heroes that have a lot of early game mana problems. Like I play a
Right.
lot of Clinks, and I'm like, you're just running out of mana. You can find an Arcane Rare in Clinks. I feel good. I
Yeah.
feel good with
And
that,
it gives your team some mana also. It's like a very
Yeah.
poor man's Arcane Boots.
good in certain
It's a good
situations.
situations.
Yep.
We'll see if we need to revise it as time progresses, but we'll keep it in C
Yes.
for
Yeah,
now.
we can move it.
We'll
later.
keep your D list in mind there. Broom Handle. I'm never a fan of Broom Handle
Yeah,
personally.
Is it even F tier? It's
It
tier
might
1,
be
so
F
I feel
tier.
like putting tier 1 items
How
in
much-
F tier is
How much
rough.
HP does it give?
There's certain heroes
none.
that you
right?
do
Does
like
it give
it
HP?
I think it gives like
Oh wait, you're right. No, you're right.
150.
Yeah, 100, 125.
Hun-
on. There are
125.
certain heroes that it's good on. Like there's certain. So here's the thing. Like if you're thinking about carries, like an Ursa or something, right? Or even sometimes like a Monkey King.
Right, so I agree with that, but the problem is that there's almost always a better tier 1 item.
Right.
There's
which is
never
like
a situation.
Iron Talon.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Iron Talon is always better
Yes.
for a carry because
But
you're
there's
going to be
certain games
juggling.
where you don't get an Iron Talon, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you get a consumable. Maybe you get an Arcane Ring. Maybe you just having a bad
I
game.
mean, so yeah, if there was like a if there was a mango tree and a honey, and then the third neutral item is
Yeah.
not
You
conceivable.
only get one of them now, though. So yeah.
But
Oh,
I
that's
guess
true.
I mean, it sounds like we're trying to decide whether it's like a okay, we'll do D. It's a tier 1 item. So
Okay, never mind. So it doesn't give HP. It gives.
it makes it worthwhile in like a PA. It's still like
It's pretty garbage.
You want iron.
So, because I think that is just worse because like that's something that fits in.
I think it's at least a B.
A.
Oh, okay. You're
Honestly.
going that high. Yeah. Come on, S.
Okay.
So there's like some, and they'll pop Manta right after they net some.
Immediately after.
Right.
Yeah,
There's
and it's like 45 minutes into the game or
that's
something.
good.
We're only considering the active other parts. It's really good.
All right.
Alphabetized here. It's Craggy
That's
Coat
fine.
for C.
I think good in most situations.
C. Oh wait.
B.
Oh, B and C.
Some,
Oh, certain.
yeah.
Oh, okay, that is
Certain,
good.
what
Like-
if you're not versing, much
I
physical?
think that there's always somebody on your team that.
Over a Craggy because
sure.
the armor just. We got some thoughts on
So
Shovel.
there's the makeup of your enemy team. And two.
The more I think about it, I'm thinking it's worse and worse.
We can iterate on this. Okay.
It's tier 2.
Well, I need to look up the Dragon Skill.
Dragon
5
skill.
armor, 5 HP regen.
No.
It's really good on PL and
HP 5 armor and the effects buildings.
But that to me sounds like I would say C. C, maybe.
If you don't get a Craggy coat or something, and that allows you to go for like another.
I
I
kinda like
still
what
rather have a keen optic. Yeah, because if you're a support, you're probably giving you armor because you're not
Yeah.
right clicking anything.
Bottom of the C.
Yeah, bottom
maybe.
of the C. I'm okay.
Bottom. Bottom.
Really? People have come
Personally.
Punch. You can crit off the damage.
where they're just adding onto their burst damage because I don't
It
want to have to
messes
like.
you up.
I think it's a certain. I think it's a C. I don't. One's up to you because I can see where you're coming
I
from. Gabe, what's your opinion? Do you think it's a B or a C
Maybe we're gonna end it with a lot of C tiers.
We do that, and then we recalibrate as the time goes.
and Quiver in B?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
fine.
what I'm feeling.
S and String.
Oh, this item's
Oh,
amazing.
this
This
A
is I think for tier 2 it might actually be S. Pick it above the ensnare.
can wear S and String.
Yep.
The only thing that once you go to tier 3, you
Depending what
Not
tier
always.
3.
It depends.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
Like.
S or A.
A.
A tier 1 item in S, that's
All right,
true.
What is a better support item at any point in the game?
I think.
Well,
I don't
Keen,
think
maybe.
it's.
Especially once like tier 2's like as a support. Once tier 2. Yeah, for tier whenever there are only tier 1 items.
This is always the cores you get it when it down later on. I think it's A. For me.
Yeah.
I don't know the net.
Okay, you think it's higher than Clumsy Nut?
For sure.
Similar. Like
I think it's similar.
I think I
in front of us, and I'm like, bro, you have the Clumsy. You just don't like having a flicker.
It's a lot of movement speed too.
What I'm thinking about is what are we comparing it to?
Pretty wild.
The way I see it
Like-
is, to me, this
Minotaur Horn, right? Am I remembering that?
like
I would take Timeless Relic over a
Some Leveler
I would
and
put it
Shaco.
B. Like,
Both those
yeah.
other ones, yeah. But to me,
comparing it to that tier, right?
Flicker is one of like the better tier 4 items at
But
least.
it's-
real.
but, like-
There's Flicker, there's Havoc Hammer, Illusionist,
I'm hearing a
Ninja
lot of
Gear,
bad tier 4 items.
Ninja Gear, Leveler, Relic,
And that's
Shaco.
what, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Wait, no, what? Higher than Prism, Leveler, and Relic?
Minotaur Horn?
And Minotaur Horn?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, it's again, it depends on the hero. There's some.
You know what I mean?
We've been giving them a low A. Low A.
Yeah, my book. When I forget to click more than any other new.
I don't want to get rid of this.
You saved the one last.
450 HP on a 10-second cooldown.
I never feel good about finding.
I think that it has a lot more outplay of like having a fairy fight.
Destruction. Paladin Sword, Quickening,
Yeah, see, I
Okay.
would
Put it in there either way, either below
Yeah.
or above.
Grove Bow.
I feel like
it's
it's a
first, but it's actually pretty good on some.
too with so many MKBs being it
Yeah.
makes it that much better, and there's a lot of like it fits well with.
Yeah, but unlike Quiver, melee hero. For Quiver,
Right.
all all occasionally, no ranged cores even.
It feels
But melee heroes before. I can't remember what hero is playing. It gives you a bit of attack
I think
speed.
for a Faceless Void,
Attack speed as well, right?
yeah.
Like a tiny bit. It's a little underrated, but it's probably just C.
okay. Let's do it.
It's
then.
definitely underrated.
Speed, 100 attack range, and sent for 6 seconds.
Yeah, we're not need to go super close with it.
Havoc Hammer.
This one's gotten buffed.
Does that put it up to... I would put it...
30 damage and 75 times 275 plus your strength for the nuke. That is 50% for 3 seconds.
I think
Never
strength-
used this item, so I'll defer to you.
18 strength is
18
a
strength
lot.
is a lot. Oftentimes feel okay because especially if there's like some
Where are we ranking it then? We got to rank.
in terms of
All right.
Applica Universe AP.
Problem is somebody's gonna.
We're moving.
Illusionist Cape.
I'm putting OP personally.
S tier?
I think it's S tier.
What?
I think there's like potential getting people to commit a bunch of.
Yeah, but they won. It's
You get to do it once. You get to outplay them
even-
once.
Maybe.
I mean, it has scouting, but
14 strength, 14 to agi.
This would have been OP,
that's true.
but you can't do that anymore.
All right, so you guys are feeling A, or are you
I
feeling
was
down?
an illusion hero. I never want to carry it.
Picked it
Might
up. Up. I've actually seen game.
Defer to you guys though, but I was thinking C.
I would say it's as good as Arcane Ring.
I'm here. I'm
Okay.
upset.
Claw.
I play a lot of Clinks, and it's good on
It's
Clinka.
good on
Yeah,
Conka,
yeah.
But there's a
And 130. Percent crit on an 8.
For D tier, really.
Yeah.
It's.
I would put it at bottom of C personally.
I think as much as I like the
Because
Amish
I prefer.
Iron Talon to me feels
tier, I think.
right.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I would rate it a.
I would
Let's
agree
give it
with
S. We need some S tiers.
Like Brooch, which will oftentimes be passed off to a support. Supports never carry the
Yeah.
stash.
But the value you get from it.
it's like it's C,
It's
but
S.
it goes to S tier. So I think it needs
But that's not most
it-
situations.
that you get from it
So
early on.
who are the heroes, the 3 that are like S tier?
Yes.
So is it SS, I think.
It
Yeah,
is
I
if,
think
if Jab
consistently good on is the Timbers.
It's
I think
worth
it's
noting
C.
that like,
Yeah,
on certain
it's-
heroes, changes depending upon certain heroes
Agreed.
on it.
Yeah,
Yep.
but I think it's still C.
Yeah.
A? Yeah, A. I'm down for A.
There's
yeah.
never a situation in which I'm sad we got to keep.
An A. Magic Lamp. Is this our first? This is a
400
tier
health
4
is
item.
good,
This is
but
a tier 4
that's-
item, though. You
Tier
gotta.
4 item.
I'm buffed because I just assumed this item's still.
For
me,
so
it's F tier.
408 heal in 7. .27 got
It's F tier still. I need whatever
A
A
on
on
this,
this. Yeah, it's
yeah.
a tier 4 neutral item. Something's got to be F.
Mango
I'd say D,
Tree,
but whatever. We'll give it an
to
F.
me,
Mango Tree.
I think is A. It like I've seen a couple of games, but what I'm saying is that there's certain them. Like
Yeah,
if you're Storm or something, and you put it in the jungle, and you can keep those mangoes.
Faster and you. You can use mana like that.
Right.
Me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do
I
A.
like it a
All right,
lot.
fine. I'm down. I don't.
Mindbreaker got
actually-
nerfed a bit. It's just bonus damage,
Yeah.
bonus, and it
Okay.
also silences on hit. Of course, it does 5, I think.
I would put this.
It's gotten the nerf just hit it pretty hard.
Attack speed.
Oh, attack speed.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's like
Yeah, it's
I would rank it
very
above the
You're
items.
talking about it.
sometimes
I think branches
in
is
certain
so good.
situations
That's
is too good.
all right.
Magic lamp.
There's no.
I would be.
growth bow even. No, I feel if every item is C or above, it means the game's pretty balanced.
True.
There you go.
It's
This
true.
is, you know,
This is how they're going to balance the patch too.
Shipping this to Valve.
Minotaur.
Minotaur.
This time's overrated. Rated personally.
Real.
For me, there's certain heroes that
Yeah.
that one thing. I would put it A. Personally,
Is pretty good, and we put Flicker in A, and I think most Dispel.
I would put it above
Yeah.
Flicker.
Second cooldown.
Yeah, yeah. Flicker is just
Unbelievable.
all right. Nether.
I feel like.
It's so
Which drafts you're against also.
But the
Minus
I think
armor
there
is
is
like
always a hero on your team.
people sitting on tier 1s over it.
magic damage or any magic damage distance and 8% spell damage.
I think we give it. This
I think it's C.
personally, yeah.
It not be touched.
Yeah.
Ninja Gear, or you're a support that's trying to save some free smoke for yourself.
Or
it's Virgin on S to me.
verging on S.
All right. If we're Ninja Gear there, only if Flicker goes S
Okay,
tier.
honestly be F.
It gives more stats than the branch.
Ironwood
One of them
Tree
gives
is
one more stat than the
666.
other. One stat.
Yeah.
That one. Versus like
Mid laners all
it's
like,
comic.
okay, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's F.
or D.
A.
Is it A?
Some games where you want Orb of Destruction.
Yeah, so I think B.
I was going to put Paladin Sword in S and then like.
Yeah,
Orb
yeah,
of
Paladin I
Destruction.
think is
Paladin's
S.
S.
Yeah, for sure. The Orb I think is B.
I think there's some games where you want an Orb over a Paladin Sword.
That might there some heroes maybe
Right.
you might want an Orb over a Paladin Sword, but I think Paladin Sword is just insanely OP in a number of situations.
Yeah.
There's so many heroes I see holding onto Paladin Sword over
Right.
tier 4 and
Yep.
sometimes even tier 5 items.
Yep.
That's true.
There's no like scenario where I feel like Orb of Destruction does that.
Agreed.
A or B? I mean A or B. I'm not fussed.
Wait, so what other tier 3s do we have in A? We have no tier
none.
3s in A?
Yeah.
We have Craggy in B as well.
That it's on the same tier as Enchanted Quiver. I
You
think
think
that
it's
higher.
better?
I think
Okay,
it's
we can
better
do
than
A. Let's
Quiver.
do A.
Okay, fine, yeah. Let's say A.
Okay.
I can agree with that justification.
And I will
Just straight Paladin
yeah,
Sword.
yes.
Port,
Paladin Sword
port
S.
that to the
I will
S.
accept no other.
Paladin
argument
Sword
on
is
this.
20% attack damage, 16% lifesteal, 14% health regen, lifesteal, and spell lifesteal amplification.
Yep.
It is arguably one of the best items. Yeah, and even after tiers.
I've seen tier 5 items that are valued lower than it.
So
Philosopher's Stone.
it's either S or A.
It's either S or A.
Yeah.
I think it's S because of the backpacking it while you're dead too.
Yeah. Well, I
And
mean,
swapping it back out.
swapping
to get
when
the
you're dead,
extra
yeah.
Gold.
it's pretty good. And you always have a support who will be. I think this one's S.
Yeah,
well,
I'll agree with S.
Because you will always have a support who's willing to carry
Yes.
it. There's no situation in which
Okay.
someone will be like, I don't want this.
And it can like you getting a Philosopher's Stone and the enemy team not getting it
Oh yeah, that's
can like
true.
change the whole dynamic of the game.
Yeah,
Suddenly this
you're-
hero that wouldn't been able to scale does.
That blink dagger timing on your support suddenly
Right.
is that much faster. Okay.
Poor man's shield might be F.
Is it?
I
Maybe
think
we
it's
give
at
it D.
least D.
I
think
feel like we're
it's
being
D.
too. You have to be more gentle on these items because they're tier 1 items. You know,
Yeah, I guess.
like we're not comparing it to a tier 2 or tier 3.
But I'm never happy getting a poor man's shield.
On
I
some
would
heroes.
like
It's
any
okay.
other tier 1.
It's okay-ish for if it's like
Like
you
a
don't get
Slark.
Iron Talon, it still like does the job as like a jungling carry kind
A
of.
I
Slark,
guess.
a Timber Saw.
It's 8 agility.
It's also really good against some heroes like Visage birds and shit. It's
Spiderlings.
It is
Yeah,
worse
yeah,
now because
I-
everybody has the shell on them naturally.
Yeah, the built-in
Yeah.
block, built-in
I
stout
would
shield.
say it's a D.
All right, fine. I'll let it be D.
Prince's Knife.
Prince's Knife is really hard.
That one still has the projectile speed
Yes,
change
it
too,
does.
right?
I think that is. I don't think that's actually like something that is that good though.
Oh no, it makes for Medusa, oftentimes
Okay.
I'll carry it because like during Stone Gaze, getting more attacks out and like before people can run away, like if you have a Scotty slow or something like that, it makes a
helps.
big
Okay.
difference.
So B or C probably.
I think it's C because
agree.
Yeah.
again, like if I don't have a ranged hero, I don't like carrying it a lot of times.
Yeah.
Unless if you're like a Slark who
So-
like first attack hex is actually really nice.
Here's the thing. I think there are some games where people would probably keep the Grove Bow over the Prince's Knife.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
You don't think so?
But if you have
like,
a compelling argument, I'm willing
like
to listen
a
to
Wind
it.
Ranger or something? Like, I
I
personally
would keep the knife.
with a MKB or like a Maelstrom on her, like getting that damage amplification, getting the attack speed.
I mean, this is a late game situation where most
Yeah.
people probably have BKBs and ways to like
Right.
deal with the magic damage, whereas
Okay.
Hex is Hex. Being able to initiate with the Hex is huge.
But it's like it's not that far apart, the two of them, in my opinion.
I think we're happy with C though.
Yes.
I'm happy
Okay.
with C because I think it's same thing as Imp-Claw Mindbreaker. It's the same kind of context of which you'll like that kind of item.
Yeah.
Same kinds of heroes like those three items, which is mainly like Slarks.
This is one of my favorite
Pupil's
items.
Gift.
Oh,
I like this item a lot, but I think it's maybe some of the heroes that I play. Like you play strength heroes, you love picking this up and get a little bit of extra int or whatever.
yeah.
It's
Famous
13
spells.
to secondary attributes.
Yeah, it got nerfed. I remember from when it first came out, and
It'll give you 156 mana and 0.65 mana regen.
I think it feels underwhelming because it's just like a stat item to me. It doesn't
Right.
actually have any kind of
That's why I like it.
utility or
Yeah.
value outside of
You
just
really
giving
just
some
don't like
stats.
actives, do you?
I don't. I hate
Like,
actives.
to me, this is a C or a D even. Like, I would say this.
Damn.
This is competing against Clumsy Net, Dragon Scale, Essence String, Grove Bow, Impclaw, Nethershell, Stone,
I guess
Aquila, and Vampire Fangs.
the thing about it that's weird is that like you probably one of the ways that's nice is like on Agi Heroes. And
Yeah,
you want one
I
of those
agree.
other items.
That's the thing. I think this item is most value when you're getting the bonus strength from it.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those Agi heroes typically want one of the right-click items.
Right.
That's why I think this item is kind of bad.
And as a support,
Okay.
I would still rather have
Yeah,
Keen
I'm down
Optic.
with that.
I think
I'm
it's a
down with that.
D personally.
I'm okay with that. Yeah. Even though it's one of my favorite items.
It's not like, I mean, these D items are still usable because
I
like,
think it's C.
okay,
I
we'll do C then. Let's do C.
Okay. Bottom of C.
Quickening Charm.
That's at least
B?
B.
That's at least a B.
It's yeah, I think it's B.
On certain heroes, it's
Oh.
way better.
It is giving you 9 HP regen, and the cooldown reduction is
yeah,
13%
HP regen.
on spells and items.
Are
Could
we,
it even be an A?
are
Like,
we-
I would
are
rank
we
I
off
would
of
rank
now?
this the same as the Orb of Destruction, personally.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I don't
We're
think it's
giving
worse
Orb
than Orb.
A. I would
That's
give
true.
Quickening. I mean, I would think Orb's maybe borderline B, but
And usually I'll give up a Keen for a Quickening Charm as.
okay, let's put it A then.
Let's put it A.
Are we still doing this now, by the way? Because this is just back at us
We're not.
now.
It's okay. They forgot what we look like.
Hey, everybody. What's happening over there?
Next up will be Repair
Quickening
Kit.
Heroes.
I'm not sure.
I do not like this item.
You don't like Repair Kit?
I think it's a. If you're winning, it sucks. If you're losing, it kind of helps, but
It's C or D.
On certain heroes, that extra HP regen is kind of nutty.
Oh,
it's a lot of HP regen.
It's a lot of
but
HP
it's
regen,
like,
but I still never carry it around.
Yeah.
It's 25 HP regen. It will stay in the base until I
I
desperately
started
need
doing
it.
the backpack thing where it's like, oh, I'm half health. Let's just put the repair kit in for a bit to get some HP regen. But
The problem with that is oftentimes my teammates will forget we have a kit, and so whenever we're getting siege high ground, I'm like, I teleported it back to
yeah,
base.
I'd say D. I just, I feel like we have too many B's and C's.
I'm okay with that if it's at the top of the Ds.
Yeah, because there are situations where it will
Like-
legitimately save a game.
Underlord, to me, also, like, that's one of my most played heroes. I like it
Yeah, so
sometimes
maybe
on,
it is C because there are situations where it could save your game.
Right.
I'll give it C.
All right.
C time.
There are no bad neutral items.
Well, you say
Aquila.
that, but now we come to Aquila.
This item's actually kind of bad.
Yeah.
I'd give it a D.
Sure.
Uh,
Again, like, there's some heroes where it's good, again, but
But
it
ag-
doesn't have that value that Repair Kit is
Yeah.
of saving a game.
mm-hmm.
I
It-
prefer Imp Claw on carries to Aquila, personally.
Agreed.
It's
Even if I'm
too
an
high
Agi
of a
hero.
tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's give it D then.
Let's give it D.
Because it's worse than Imp Claw. That's basically, to me, what
Yeah,
you compare it to.
Exactly.
If it was a
Yeah.
tier
Mhm.
2 item, it's too bad.
For sure.
Jelly.
I mean, Jelly's always good.
It's always good.
It's at
because
least an
it
A.
Is
Last
it
the-
better than Mango Tree?
More than Mango Tree.
I think that there's situations where Mango Tree is better.
I mean, it's always good, but it's like, it's always how good. Because
I think I'm fine with either one of those. There's some
I don't
games
think it's
where
S tier.
No, it's not S. It's A.
It's A or B. but
there's
it's
some
probably
game
A, yeah.
there's some games where Mango Tree is better. There's some games where Jelly is
Okay.
better.
Then I'm okay with both of them being A.
Spell Prism.
Spell Prism.
I like this one a lot.
This one's really good. A?
Is it S?
It's tier 4. Like, I
tier
always
4.
compare this to Quickening Charm. Like, yeah, it's more cooldown.
It's 12
reduction.
stats to everything and 4 mana
Yeah.
regen, and the cooldown reduction is 20%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
12 stats is pretty freaking good.
Yeah. It may be S.
Okay, let's give it S. We haven't got many OP
Let's
items.
do it.
Yeah.
This is Dota. Everything needs to be OP. Spider legs. There's an OP item.
Oh,
S
that's
tier.
why I
S.
like S.
Yeah,
100%
Yeah,
S.
I agree.
Telescope
tier.
S.
No.
I think it
It's
is.
two situations.
It's
What
two
if you don't
situ-
have any ranged heroes?
Yeah, if you don't have any ranged heroes.
Well, it's also really good just for like the extra range.
cast range. Yeah.
The scan as well. Scan
The scan is
more
definitely
and-
undervalued. I've seen games where this item gets left in base. Though.
yeah, I've seen that too.
That's fair.
And
Okay,
I think
yeah,
any
that's-
item that gets left in base some games.
But it's so good whenever it is good that I think it's A. So even though sometimes it does get left in base,
Yeah.
which would make it B
Right.
tier, whenever it is good, it's like A for sure,
A or
verging
B.
on S. So
Yeah.
I think it's low A.
Okay, we'll do it.
Okay.
Leveler.
As a support player that likes to play ranged things, it's I always think about it as S tier.
Levelers S or A.
I think I would rather A. I was thinking maybe lower personally.
We
Really.
have Spell Prism in S.
I think it's the best right clicker tier 4. It's flicker, hammer, cape, lamp, horn, ninja gear, knife, prism, Leveler, Relic, Shaco.
Yeah.
Is it OP as something like a Paladin sword? I like.
Yeah, I think so.
It's in a different tier.
So
I
here's
think
the thing:
so.
there's some games where you would keep, Paladin sword.
Yeah, I've seen
obviously
people
over
have
it.
backpack the Leveler while they use Paladin
There's
sword
some games
on a
where
lot of
people
heroes.
will keep.
But
Yeah.
Paladin sword is also like insanely OP.
Right, and then whenever they're sieging, they'll swap the Leveler back in.
Yeah, true.
I think there's some. There's some games where people will keep the Orbit Destruction over the Leveler. I think.
Really?
Maybe not.
It's at least an A.
It's at least an A.
Like I think PAs might. Maybe not.
It's
It is an A.
60 attack speed.
I would say give it an A.
All right, fine. I'm okay
High
with
A,
that.
but
High A.
yeah, we'll-
Yeah, okay. I'm down.
Timeless
Relic.
It's not so situational. I don't know. It's kind of.
I think it's A.
The spell
Oh.
damage is really good,
Hmm.
and the debuff. It's 15% debuff. Is that right?
Let's see. Because I think most there are no supports that I don't think don't really like the Relic.
Okay.
I can't think of any support who.
Sure.
So it's 25%
Any hero,
debuff duration
with
and
some stun or
15%
something.
spell damage. Yeah.
15% spell damage.
Okay.
That's what it was.
We only got 5 minutes, so we gotta.
Okay.
I'm ready to speed through these last ones.
Okay. Well, that
Titan
means we can
Sliver.
Titan Sliver.
B.
That's B. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say B.
Man, I feel like
It
that
was
Orb of
way better.
Destruction is
Actually-
getting
I put it
overvalued
lower.
here. Every time I see this Orb of
You're
Destruction,
right.
I rate
It
Titan
is-
Sliver
Like it.
above Orb of Destruction.
I would rank it even with it.
I would
Or
rank it
even.
even. I would
Maybe.
actually give Orb the edge.
Okay.
Shovel S.
S or A? Yeah.
S or A.
It's like, is it giving you that much gold value? Like to me, it's like Mango Tree and the jelly. It's like it's
But-
always good, but is it really like?
Like picking up salves randomly is really nice on some heroes.
Yeah,
too.
so usually what I'll do if no matter what no matter what hero I'm playing, this is going to stay in my backpack until 60
Yeah.
minutes. And so getting like random scrolls, good salves.
I think you give it A because it's like if one team gets it but the other doesn't, is that like kind of OP? I'm like, not
yeah, it's not
necessarily.
overpowered.
Whereas some items like the spider legs or the paladin sword could actually
That's true.
change the game
That's a
if
fair
one team
point.
gets it, the other
Yeah.
doesn't.
Okay, I'm down with A.
So I'll give A.
Vambrace.
Oh, this now we're this to me is a bad item.
This is not a great item.
Yeah, Is it
these are
trash?
items that I love.
it's not trash.
Because I don't have to click many buttons.
Yeah, you can click Vambrace.
I'm
That
down
tread
for
toggle.
whatever.
D
I
personally, but I'm open to C.
I'm open to C because Int Vambrace can be really good on some casters.
Okay.
Because the spell damage amplification is like it does the null talisman's job a lot of times.
Vampire's Fangs always feels like it should be better
think
than it
it's-
is.
I think it's maybe a B.
Really?
Yeah, again, it's maybe only on certain heroes. Maybe that's too situational.
It is 15% lifesteal, 6% spell lifesteal, 300 night vision.
I think
Yeah.
it's C.
The lifesteal is just nice on some carries,
But it's not amazing.
Until
What's it
until
compared to?
Paladin Sword comes
Yeah,
along.
But hey, it's the tier 2
I know,
paladin sword.
sure.
You know, it's
What,
like
what it's compared to in tier 2? Imp Claw?
like I think it's
In tier 2
Yeah.
for right clickers, it'll compete against Dragon Scale, Imp Claw, Aquila. I think it's worse than all of those.
I don't think it's worse than Aquila.
man. We gave
Oh, that's
fairy
true.
we gave
It's not
fairy
worse than
fire
Aquila.
B tier though, guys.
Yeah.
We may have to revise that.
I don't know where
I'll
it
let
goes.
Parker. It's your call.
B. Let's
Okay.
do B.
Okay.
Alright.
And last one, Witless Shaco.
This is at least an A to me. It's so much health.
1200 HP, minus 400 mana.
1200 HP.
Yeah.
It
It's
does
really
require a
good.
hero that can use it.
Yeah.
I've played this on Kunkka before, who already has mana issues. And, like, getting up to, like,
Real- whoa.
4000 HP,
Mm.
it's insane. Granted, I was playing with an Aghanims in that game, but still.
I mean, if
Like,
it was giving
it's-
strength in that form, then I would be super on board, but it's just raw HP.
Yeah.
Right, but think about how much strength that would cost to get 1200
Is
HP.
it B tier? For me, maybe
I put it
could be A. What do you think, Neil?
I think it's B or C, so I'm not
Yeah.
giving it A for sure.
You gotta play with it. I was not a believer. I never picked up this item, and then I started picking it up randomly. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. I think like you compared to like Minotaur Horn and Havoc Hammer.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
fair point.
see, it's
Yeah.
those are the other tier 4s. Then as a
Okay,
support, I would
alright,
rather have
alright.
Relic or Prism.
All right, I would put it on tier with those ones though. There's some I think
Okay.
that I would rather have it. In some
All right,
of
fine.
those.
Give it a B.
Easy.
And
All
that
right.
is the neutral item tier list, ladies and gentlemen.
And
We did it.
Parker stands by that 100%. He was main person.
Yo,
So
Flicker is S tier. That's all I gotta say. You guys,
everybody just
sure.
Flicker
any
is-
complaints?
You tell me.
I said it was top 3 tier 4 neutral item. It is the best tier 4 neutral item. It is the
Don't agree with that.
the best neutral item in tier 4.
We'll let that percolate for a little bit. We might return to it, but for right now, are we breaking or are we drafting? We are breaking. We are going to go to a quick break, and when we return, we shall hopefully begin the next series, Neon Esports versus 496, here for the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13. And we are back with the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13 online Southeast Asia region as we go into our second elimination series of the day with me, Tsunami, Gods, and Lyrical. Everybody get ready, get strapped in, because we are about to eliminate a second team between Neon Esports and 496 Gaming.
Draft.
And the draft has begun.
Looking forward to it.
We're in here, man.
Well, we talked about the difference between some regions, but here, this IO Slardo, transcending regions.
I'm telling you, and Tiny shows up again.
Yep.
Things are changing. We're having a new outlook on things.
So this is the thing, Neon. You know, no matter what iteration it is, this is a team that apparently likes to mess around, try some cool things. Have you guys seen much of the Slardar at all?
I've seen it over in some of the Europe games.
Yeah, I've seen European Slardars.
I haven't watched like almost any Europe.
This IO Slardo lane has been crushing it.
Okay.
Something that
Crushing
Liquid have
it?
been doing. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
I've been slithering, crushing it.
Hey.
What is the... Wait, so have you seen no Slardar, or are you seen a different region Slardar, Lyrical?
I have seen no Slardar.
Okay.
0 Slardar. There might have been one like 3 months ago where I saw a carry Slardar, and it lost. So not good.
10 seconds remaining.
But I think it's kind of interesting. So what's the idea? You play it dual
5
offlane and just sort of,
remaining.
you can just play super aggressive with like a, I don't know, Orb of Venom or something, or what do you do?
It's not so much about the lane. I think it's more about enabling your right-click carry whenever whoever they
Okay.
are. So if you're
Interesting.
Phantom Assassins or just anyone who wants a tanky initiator to frontline with. The IO I think is more for the laning purposes. I don't really see the IO hang out with the Slardar after lane ends typically. And then I like
10
Aghanim Slardar
seconds
the
remaining.
most. So whenever you can enable an Aghanim's build, that's when I see him pop off
Radiant
the
team
most.
picked.
I'm happy to see the Tiny though. That's a hero that I feel like we should have seen last series.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah, and up against the IO too, so it's a just good hero to burst and blow people up. Another Undying. This hero coming into fashion. Good against these tanky strength offlaners, of course.
And may transcend regions, because Europe likes Undying, Americas likes Undying. I don't know if
10
China is a big fan of
seconds
Undying right now.
They've played some.
Okay, then I think that overall,
5
like you had said in the last
seconds
series, these 5 positions who can basically just be in the lane to bully around are just so powerful that you don't need int supports anymore. You just get strong strength supports.
Oh, and apparently it looks like there is a bit of a couple stand-ins coming in for 496.
Their 1 position is stand-in. They are going to have Drew standing in, and their 4 position is also going to be standing in.
Yokum.
Jokum.
Where did they play before? I'm trying to remember. They weren't on Neon, were they? Am I crazy?
I don't know.
Do you want to do a little quick little
I'm not
look-see?
sure. I don't think they're not because 496 is like a Vietnamese team. I don't
They
think
are.
those aren't
I
Drew
will
and Jokum aren't
investigate.
Vietnamese, right? I don't
No,
think.
they're not.
Yeah,
No, I think that they've previously played. I don't remember what team they were in though, but I watched them play. I feel like, was it Old Neon? I could be crazy.
Yokum's previous teams have been Boom, PG Barracks, and T1.
Boom was what I was thinking. Okay.
Okay.
So they're both Indonesian players, I believe.
All right. Interesting.
Yes, Yokum is
Radiant
Indonesian,
team
and
picked.
Drew is also Indonesian. And
they
his
picked a Shadow Shaman.
homies know this isn't Dire Side, right?
That's mega interesting to me. Yeah, 496 has always been a little bit of an interesting team too, because like you said, Vietnamese squad, but they mix it up a lot
10
within that
seconds
region,
remaining.
within that country. And they had for a really long time like a really good Meepo
5
player. I don't remember what his
seconds
name was. His name was
Yeah, I
like
know the guy you mean.
962 or something. He was
Yeah,
like
yeah, no,
another
yeah, yeah.
number thing. But
Dire
they've been
team
tearing it up recently.
It's cool to see because you back in the Dota 1 days, Vietnam actually was like one of the best countries in Dota 1.
Really?
They had one of the Stars Boba was the name of one of the best Dota teams in the world, and they were from Vietnam.
Oh.
Then, but Dota 2 I think never really
Dire
caught on and was
team
never like the big game. You know, League of Legends kind of took over, so they never had much presence in Dota 2.
So the real OGs.
Well, 4 strength heroes for Neon right now. Although I don't think you could justify a
Ah.
Timbersaw necessarily, but
10
I
seconds
saw a
remaining.
recent, I think it was a Knoxville stat because a team won with a 5 strength hero lineup.
5
Really?
seconds
I think it
remaining.
was Mud Golems.
oh, okay.
They had
Yeah.
5 strength heroes and they won, and there was like 35 games all time where a team had drafted 5 strength heroes.
I'm surprised it's that infrequent. I would
Yeah,
have imagined
me
that
too.
it happens. I guess there aren't very many strength supports, but now Snapfire, IO, Clockwork,
Yeah.
Undying, turning into supports. Yeah, I guess
It's kind of, yeah, you need all the strength supports. There's also not that many. Well, strength mids
10
kind of come and go, but
Yeah.
usually you don't pick a strength mid with a strength carry, I would
That's
say.
true.
It's like you kind of get one or the other.
Yeah.
Truth.
And strength carries are kind of,
that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
only 30-something drafts of ever
Yeah.
5 strength,
and
then
it was like a 50% win rate or something.
Huh.
roughly.
incredible. Well, so now they would need a strength carry.
Sven?
Sven, yeah.
I will say, CK to me. Have you guys seen many CK matchups?
I'm lukewarm on CK. I think he
They
has
had
potential.
a CK in that 5 strength lineup. There was a CK, Lifestealer, and Timbersaw, I want to say.
Oh, wow.
Phoenix
5
is one of the
seconds
things.
remaining.
Phoenix CK. This was like the thing that Beast
Radiant
Coast was doing
team
for a
back.
little bit that looked so unbelievably good. And I think they played it with IO too. That just ended up looking really, really neat. but I think here they've got to go for something else, right?
Man, IO CK. That's. What was the very first IO pairing? Was it Tiny? Tiny
Yeah.
IO was the first one, and then
TI2, yeah.
yeah, and then CK IO became
Because
the
Tether's
new
down.
standard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Stone's
you could
Rowdy
pull
Rift.
them with the CK, yeah.
Yeah, and then IO just went on to tether everyone.
Think about how crazy that was. That when Tether moved through somebody, it stunned them.
Yeah.
And then
What
you
the
could
hell?
cancel it and recast to stun
Yep.
them again.
10 seconds remaining.
All right, what do we got here? Last.
5 seconds remaining.
The Shadow Shaman's weird.
It is weird, I agree. Not a fan of this hero right now.
I mean, they do have pretty garbage ways to deal with the Serpent Wards. None of these heroes like right-clicking very much.
Yeah.
Slaughter doesn't want to be wasting right-clicks on that when he could be stunning people.
But
Oh, Lina
Are
last
you
pick.
afraid of Serpent Wards?
If they push with it, because I also think the
Okay.
wave clear is atrocious on Neon.
That's very true. Yeah, it's more I'm thinking in a team fight, like you can just kind of
Yeah, in
ignore
a team fight,
Serpent
they'll
Wards.
just tank it. It's
Yeah,
four strength
exactly. Heroes
arrows.
like Slaughter, Sand King are just like, they don't care about the Serpent
Yeah.
Wards. They're not
10
posing a
seconds
kill threat. But yeah, the push factor
The
is...
sieging, I think, is really strong right
Yeah.
now on
5
496.
seconds
But he's never gonna
remaining.
get to like level 6 wards is not bad to deal with in the mid game, and like I don't think he's gonna be in them. This is a 5 shaman, right?
Yeah, but I think 496 is just going to group up early, because Mars and Tiny can definitely frontline easily. Lina and Troll can just right-click from range if they need to. And once they group up, then Neon, they need to hope that they have a Blink Dagger online, otherwise they're not going to be able to start a fight from so many units away.
I feel like you don't like either team's draft.
I don't. But I can see a clearer strategy with 496, whereas for Neon it's just like, how do you kill us? That's how we win the game, because you can't kill us.
Yeah, I think it's hard to see them having a well-rounded a draft because they're missing that big mid playmaker, those OD Death Prophet type heroes that are banned. It's going to look like a draft when they picked this last year.
Yeah.
I also don't know who they're sending mid. Like, who's the one position who's going to be the mid on Neon?
Well, that's what they're gonna do right now. They're gonna take. It's probably like Medusa or something, right?
Yeah, but like whoever goes into the other lane, I don't like any of them. I like Slardar
Yeah, it
is
sounds
the
like
only one.
Slaughter's safe lane, I guess.
Right.
I said I saw it. It was 3 months ago. They lost.
Yeah.
Whatever. I wonder if
Io
it was
Sand King
Neon.
doesn't sound like... Yeah, I feel like you want the Io... I guess Io Slaughter might play safe lane?
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think so.
It's definitely a little bit.
I think you just need to
Unconventional.
get someone who has wave clear.
Yeah.
Because none of these heroes, as soon as 496 converge on a tower, there's no way to peel them off.
But you're also like super immobile already on 496. Wow.
I mean, you know, I love that draft.
No,
From
play hard's
no.
the 4.
Oh. Core... Oh, it's
It's
Core
Scale.
Io. Yeah,
It's
we've
Core
seen,
Io.
yeah, we've seen
Alright,
some Core Io. Okay.
Okay.
This is kind of cool.
This is kind of cool.
I like it. It's something fun.
Can I pick neither team? Is that?
Well, what do you dislike about 496?
I think that they're a mixture of like fragile and also like sort of lacking team fight in a way. It's like they play pick-off oriented, it looks like, and then the only team fight that they really have is like Mars.
I don't know what a mid Sand King is supposed to do, though.
Yeah, well, I believe in Yopaj actually, so I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna believe in Neon. Yopaj to me is like one of the standout players.
All right. Well, we are going to toss to a quick break, but then we shall return with some fresh casters for you for game number 1 of this next series.
going on? Time has stopped. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're here for our first game between Neon and 496 in the lower bracket. It's MLP Dota and John X Fire. John, welcome, sir. How you doing?
I'm feeling great, Mike. It's great to finally be here at the playoffs. Second series of the night. Neon up against 496. Two teams. One of them's got to go home here. And it's a bit scary. You know, Neon, it's the team that we've kind of pegged up there. They've been having a good time, right? BTS Pro Series Season 3, they look good. At previous tournaments as well was steady. 496 surprised us with their performances there as well. But now one of them's got to go home. They had middling group stage performances. And that's what you get. Southeast Asia right now, just way too volatile to have that kind of up and down performance here.
Can I talk to you for a second about these drafts, John? They're pretty all over the place. I mean, you talked about volatile, but why are we seeing a mid Sand King, a position 1 IO? What's going on here? What are they up to?
I wish I could explain this one away, Mike. I honestly couldn't tell you. At least on paper, a mid Sand King versus a mid Morris doesn't sound completely bad if you play with your Sandstorm. You're gonna have to invest some detection there to keep eyes on that. I suppose you could play around like that, but there's a lot here they've got to do back and forth. As the panel mentioned, 496, they've got a bit more of a straightforward game plan. You've got Drew and his troll. You've got timings to meet that's not too awkward. You know what you want to hit. You know what items you want to farm up and what spikes you want to hit. Neon, it's a bit all over the place. Like, you and I were really surprised by the Rubik last pick. We thought it would be Yopaj Rubik, but it's play hard instead. So we'll have to see what Neon pulls out. They do have some really strong lanes. Like, you look up top, right? Slardar plus Rubik, lift into stun, level 2 spikes. That's pretty devastating for 496. Bombi's got to do some work here to zone out with that Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a pretty rough lane here for Bombi as he gets lifted once into the stun and he's borderline just going to die. Especially at that level 2, level 3 mark, it does get pretty tough for the poor Shaman. See what he can get done. Of course, over in the mid lane, you do see Yopaj and Hung up against each other. Yopaj on the mid Sand King. Actually, he's got a stun off Hung. He's going to eat a Fairy Fire, and the spear does come out just in time. Yopaj, well, both of them will survive just barely. But this mid matchup, I have no idea what to expect from.
I mean, at least on paper, we know it's a melee on melee. For the Sand King, that tends to be favorable. He's gone for level 2 Caustic. It's harder for Hung to come out and zone out, and this doesn't cost Yopaj any mana. Like, he can save the Burrow Strike when his creep wave is huge, and force Hung in an awkward situation, and that's just going to be the name of the game here. Like, Hung is still going to be able to find farm, but he's not going to contest too well, and if the wave does not shove in, then he's not going to find too much. So we'll see if he can kind of recover that. You also have a farming advantage here for Yopaj, so he can dip into that jungle, maybe get a value point in the Sandstorm, kind of clear that out for himself if he does go off to a rough start down the line.
Absolutely. Of course, the one lane we never really talked about, that bot lane. We're having a look at it right now. Januel and Skem going to be up against Joe Cam and Dat BB. And even though it's a POS 1 IO, you'd kind of have to make the argument they might just have the stronger lane here with that Undying. I mean, you talk about the sustain with that Undying IO combination. It is kind of broken with Tether and Soul Rip. Even though you have the Lena Tiny up against the Undying lane, it does look a bit too tough to contest.
It really is. Like, just the interaction
As
between
I say that. Yeah, toss up, Skem, going to eat a Fairy Fire and will survive as Joe Cam is going to take a lot of damage out, but he'll also eat a Fairy Fire and be just fine. These are going to be very volatile side lanes, and even that mid lane again, you have a look. Hung is trying to give it back to Yopaj in that Sand King, but it seems Yopaj already has the bottle up and has another Tango available, so he's got plenty of sustain for himself.
Yeah, it's just going to be hard to bully that Sand King out. He does still have that good regen naturally on his base. The thing about this IO lane as well, right? Undying plus I, we've seen this a couple of times in groups. It's just the tether regen you get with the Soul Rip. The burst heal is ridiculous, so they're always going to trade in a good spot, but this is the weakness of the lane. Once you run out of mana on that Undying, Januel doesn't really have much to do. He's got one Decay cast left, and that's going to be it. And he's going to have to find a way to get a refill, either by sacrificing himself or ferrying out some regen.
It could be tough. See what they do get done. Looks like another stun's going to fly out, but Januel, he's going to be fine. He's a tanky Undying. At least for now, he'll be all right. But looks like that BB and JoeCam will take over the lane for a bit. At the very least, Skem has still gotten 16 and 8 in terms of last hits. Close back up towards that top lane, you'll see Play Hard. He's going to make the rotation for the 4-minute power rune. It's going to be quite important for both these heroes in the mid lane, as Yopaj does go for a quick burrow strike out. And it is bottom. So Yopaj gets pretty lucky there on the Sand King, does bottle up the haste rune. And I've got to admit, John, I'm not sure what to expect from a mid Sand King. Like, are we going to see early rotations from Yopaj? Does he farm for a while, maybe into that Blink Dagger? I'm just not sure what he's going to get up to as bot lane. Genuel, it's going to get very low, but once again, just has the Soul Rip and is going to be fine, and even has a salve available just in case. But back to my initial point, does Yopaj rotate on this Sand King, or is he going to be sitting here farming for a while?
You don't have the value point in Sandstorm, so you do have the opportunity to just kind of run around, get an early epicenter. We don't tend to see a lot of Sand Kings invest in that, though. Like, normally if you're ahead, you just kind of do go farming. It really depends. I think in a game like this, where you're kind of taking it slow, you want to fight early. Like, Neon's lineup does get explosive fast. You want to maximize that power spike you get at 6, and maybe we'll find out opportunities soon.
He's making a rotation down to the bot lane onto JoeCam, and JoeCam should really have no way out of this. They do commit the burrow strike. First blood will go over to Skem, and while that was happening, Play Hard does end up dying to Bombi up at that top lane, trying to fight over those 5-minute bounty runes, but first blood gold does go to your position 1 IO. I imagine Neon Esports, they probably feel very happy about that.
Yeah, they're getting some gold out for Yopaj. They're getting some decent fights out early. The one hurting point here for Neon is that they've left Drew alone. Like, JG's falling behind in levels. We're not seeing the combination with Rubik because of how frequently Playhard's leaving this lane. So we're not seeing the lift plays into the double bash from the Slardar, and that's going to be a bit of an issue. Drew, on his free farm path, should be able to get a fairly quick Battle Fury if he wants to, and again, 496, they've got a much stronger hardcore, or a much more traditional hard carry in that sense, and his timings are going to be much more better defined compared to Neon. Neon, they have to win these lanes, and they have to figure out what itemization they want to go for. As you mentioned, like, even Yopaj on the Sand King, it could go any way. It could go Veil first, it could go Blink first, and that dictates how Neon wants to pace themselves here.
Absolutely. Of course, Drew up at that top lane on the Troll Warlord. He's been having a great old time. He's going to try and go into JG now, but won't be too much damage. He's been farming very well, though. Mid lane, Hung is going to drop the arena onto Yopaj, and Yopaj is taking a fair bit of damage out here. He needs to try and run. With the bottle charges up, he might just make it out. In fact, a nice burrow strike down to the low ground. He'll be just fine. Hung still going for a chase, and that's a very nice spear out for Hung, just on the edge. He does give it to Yopaj on the way up. That's a very nice pick up there for our Mars.
Yep, he manages to win out. No support rotation, surprisingly. Neon's the one team we tend to see commit those TPs down to save Yopaj every time. It doesn't fly out. They're focused much more on building up these stacks. That does cost them a bit. Right now, Neon, besides just leaving Drew alone to farm, I think this Rubik's going a bit too slowly. Like, Playhard again has had a bit of a slower game, although.
Well, Januel gets very close to dying, but the Soul Rip gonna keep him up and sustained. They do drop the Tombstone, but a nice deny out from Januel and Skem. In fact, I believe it was Skem that got the last hit on that deny. That will mean no gold going to the way of JoeCam. However, that BB was going back in for an avalanche toss onto Skem, but they have so much heal, they just can't kill him. And now JoeCam's going to be in trouble. He'll try to run, he'll be fine. But how do you kill this lane, John? There's just too much healing going on.
You just don't. You're going to need more numbers, and Hung is here now. That might fix it.
Well, he's going to go for a spear play, but it looks like they are going to have to settle onto Januel, who again does get the Soul Rip off. But Hung is going to be able to set up for the spear. Even top lane, Drew's going to be in trouble now with an epicenter coming out. He does get the battle trance off in time, and he'll make a chase onto JG, but it looks like his time is up. He is indeed going to die to the Slaughter. That's a very important rotation out from Yapage as Drew. He was farming a bit too well though. Bot lane now. The arena is going to be dropped onto Schem. He's trying to survive. Januel will not be there in time to get the soul rip off. That BB though getting low, but he does toss up Januel. But now Januel's in trouble. In fact, never mind, play hard. He's going to rotate in onto that BB, who's trying to make a run for it. Play hard. Does he have a fade bolt? It doesn't matter. Yapage will get the Burrow Strike off, though top lane now, Bombi is going to get a Shackles off on JG, be chased down. He is a pretty fast slider, though. And it looks like they are not going to be able to keep up. He will be just fine. And while we have a pause, John, I've got to give a quick shout out to the Observer. I was going to say this before the game started, but between 496 and Neon, it's going to be a hell of a time to try and keep up with the camera work with these two teams. So shout out to you, Mr. Earson Dota. If I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm pretty bad with pronunciation, but shout out to you, sir.
Yeah, it's going to be a tricky one. We're already at 7 kills at 9 minutes in. Pretty quick-paced game. They took their time at the start, but both teams do have drafts that kind of explode. Real quick, I'd say Neon are the ones that are keen to jump the gun a bit faster. Looking at that, Yapage, he's actually saving up for that Blink Mic, so it's going to be a quicker pace coming out from Neon. They're not focusing on, say, a Veil build-up here. They just want to go fast. They want to buy as much space as possible, try to get the snowball start going early on. And I like the build-up here from 496. Like we talked about, Drew may be going for a Battle Fear. He's going for the straight Yasha into BKB. So he just wants to be able to fight on this troll, understanding that Neon's probably not going to give him breathing room, and that's a perfect response. We've seen some teams try to play slow against Neon. Doesn't generally work. 496 are going to want to keep that pace up here.
That they will. So far, just holding that very slight net worth lead, and Hung right at the top of that net worth board on the Mars, doing some good work so far. Surprisingly enough, Hung's not going to go for that mobility build up into the Blink. He is going straight right-click with the Desolator, which I don't necessarily disagree with, because God's Rebuke is kind of broken with Deso, but you aren't going to have that mobility to really set up these big arenas later on, which could come back to haunt him. In top lane, there's going to be a big team fight, it looks like, as both teams are meeting up, but a nice hex out from Bombi, and now the arena, it's been dropped. It's Yapage that's going to be in trouble, but the heals are coming in, and now Burrow Strike is going to be out from Yapage onto Joe Cam. He'll try to run, they'll drop the tombstone on the high ground, they do get one into Hung now, who's been left behind, and even Bombi on the river is going to get taken out by Play Hard. A very, very nice team fight out from Neon Esports. And 496, I mean, the initial arena was good, but you saw the sustain out from Sken and Januel. It was just way too much.
Yeah, it's really hard to pierce through that. Their only burst damage right now is Jokam. Doesn't even have level 6.
He's on to Drew now with the Epicenter. Drew might have to pop that Battle Trance, and he does. He'll go towards the neutrals now. Yapage is sticking around in that sandstorm, but he won't have an opportunity to go back in. In fact, he will have to Burrow Strike out before that BB does catch him. Luckily for him as well, that BB, of course, doesn't have the blink up yet. Is fairly close, but is not quite there, so he will be just fine to run. They are going to go ahead and trade those tier 1 towers. Pretty standard stuff at that 10-minute siege creep mark. Nothing too special.
You're pretty happy on both sides. You've got Drew already on the opposite side of the map here, starting to build up his own farm. I think going back to our Mars build up here, Mike, Desolator, you saw their damage issues. Like, I don't think initiation's going to be the problem, because you're eventually going to have a blink up in your Tiny. That should be enough to set up. It's really just bursting these heroes down, and at least having the Deso gives you the opportunity to try and burst down Skem if you can catch him in the back.
Bot lane, Play Hard has been caught out. Bombi just shackling him up, Play Hard. Actually going to be able to get a toss off and survive. Bombi still trying to chase, but the stun is going to be there in time. And oh, Bombi, he's not going to be happy about that one. Now Yapage, Burrow Strike is there. The Avalanche won't be out in time, and JG able to get a double kill for himself. That's going to make it an 8-4 now, but Neon, they're really starting to come online with this draft, and I'm going to tell you, John, they are looking very dangerous.
They really are. They haven't even hit, some of their major spikes. There's still a lot of room for Skem to grow. He does have his Dominator and farming it. He is alone, though.
Oh, Arena top lane. Not going to catch Skem. At least the Dominated creep is going to die, so Hung does get plus 200. But they definitely wanted to kill off that Pos 1 IO. Scam is slowly but surely going to start making his way onto the Aghanim Scepter. In fact, no, never mind. He's going for a Heaven's Halberd. All right. It's a very different kind of build-up for a POS1 IO.
Yeah, but I think this is fine. Like, you talk about it as well when we see the IO, right? There's the big spikes level 20 for the talents. So delaying the Ags, not the biggest thing, I think, right now. You're playing mainly around JG. You're playing mainly around Yopaj. It's about the Sand King. It's about the Slardar jumping in and getting those stuns off. The disarm's just going to make it hellish for Drew to stand and fight. He is, you know, at the point where he's a lot of right-click damage. That's going to be the case for pretty much the entire time. And an early disarm is just going to make it hellish. And it also makes it harder for Scam to die. Right? The mobility, the evasion would be good, but looks like Scam changes his mind again. Just a bit indecisive. He's keeping the Ags in, but looks like he might be thinking about that first type in pickup just a bit.
Like every good position one, John, you never go for those smaller items. You go full greed, right? You just This is SCA, John. We don't need to use our brains. We just get. Oh no, he switched again. Never mind. Scam actually has a brain. I guess it's lucky I'm not doing the pause one here for Neon. Meanwhile, bot lane, a big smoke up here from Playhard and Yopaj, and they're looking to try and invade the Dire Triangle. It's a bit of a tough one to invade, though. They don't really have any vision up there. They're going to walk around through the right side. Smoke broken, blink forward, but Drew looks to be just fine. Yopaj does end up blinking backwards, and in the end does not want to commit. So maybe they just go mid instead and try to set up for the tier 1 mid tower. So it does look like Neon are the stronger team at this point in time in this game. I'd say they definitely want to apply as much pressure as possible before this Drew troll gets a bit out of control.
Yeah,
Like speaking of, John, Playhard's chasing him. Yeah, JG. Catch up. Yopaj gets the Burrow Strike into the follow-up stun. Bombi tried for the Shackles. They're going to go for the Arena instead. On to Scam, but he's already relocated out. He got them out of there. Yopaj, he's been left behind, but he does have a burrow into the tree line. He does have a TP, but they are pinging him out. He does blink now to the south. Still has that epicenter up, and his team is slowly going to be coming back with their relocate, I believe. Unless they... No, they relocated out. Never mind. They're just fine. Everyone's safe from Neon. Januel, he's in the tree line waiting. He'll show to Jocam now and pops the Flesh Golem, even the Tombstone. Jocam just going to keep going as that BB now jumps in for an Avalanche toss for the Laguna. Not going to be enough. The Soul Ripple's there in time. Now Yopaj, he gets an epicenter off onto that BB. Your core Tiny is not looking very healthy right now. He does die. And towards the north, Bombi actually has a Shackles onto JG, but Jocam is also going to be in danger down to the south. They have caught him out. He will go down. So Jocam dies, JG dies to Drew on the troll, but overall a 2-for-1 trade. I'd say you're still pretty happy if you are Neon Esports.
You definitely are. You're finding the early kills, you're getting the EXP up. The only pain point here for Neon is really the fact that they're not farming well, but if they keep these fights up, that's not an issue.
Oh, onto another Bombi. Gonna get caught out like that, and it's the thing about a Shadow Shaman pickup, Jonik. You are very susceptible to dying if you get stunned once. He's only got 900 HP, and as you can see, the net worth and XP graph all going towards the way of Neon.
Yeah, they're just having a spectacular time getting that initial fights out. John Uwalt's had enormous impact, and they're relocating in.
Well, they are going bot lane. It looks like they're trying onto Drew, but he will use the Whirling Axes, still Yopaj. Burrow Strike is nice. Drew, he does have the Battle Trance and does pop it in time. Onto Yopaj. They have detection this time around with an Avalanche toss out. They get the kill and Scam. He could not relocate Yopaj in time to get him out. And it's going to be a nice pick-off now for 496. And at the same time, they've got the Desolator available on Hung now. So his God's Rebuke is going to hurt a lot more on that Mars.
Yeah, that just makes it easier to rip through. They are starting to find some of their damage issues corrected, and
the toss spear out. We've seen that one before, John. Genuel, he will try to survive at Hung. We'll just God's Rebuke him to death. Very nice little spear there, though. Playhard, meanwhile, killing off Jocam on the Lena, so they do trade supports in the end. Not too big of a deal for either team.
Yeah, 496 is still going to be happy about finding Yopaj, though. So dropping your Sand King, he was your highest net worth hero. You don't want to do that too often. You've got to be a bit cautious, although...
Yeah, they've caught Bombi up down in that Radiant jungle, and he does end up going down. JG able to take that kill. That's just the thing. You don't really need to slow down at all if you're this Radiant side with this kind of draft, where for 496, they understand they need a lot more time for this troll to be a lot stronger, and he is going for the right itemization, mind you, as well. He is going straight for the BKB. Against all these stuns from Neon, you definitely want that BKB as early as possible.
Yeah, and it's also the initial damage coming out from Neon. They're relying a lot on the Epicenter stun, the Caustic Finale, the Sandstorm catching them out to burn them down slowly. So once you have this BKB on the troll, you're just free to stand and fight. You might not have too much damage, but that's where the Desolator on Hung starts to come in. He's going to start to soften them up for you to really tear through. And Neon, it's still lining up, right? Like, we're still waiting for the Halberd here on Skem. It's almost up, but not quite. You're seeing Yapaj as well opt for his early BKB. Once you've got that, the Sand King is free to really maximize the Sandstorm in the front. Free to kind of try to control the front as well. JG has still been holding out. He's queued up both his Ags and Blink, and I think he's just kind of trying to see what he'll need as the game goes on. Does have the goal, though, to at least buy out Blink, so he's going to have to make a choice soon. You would want your Slaughter off to a bit of a running start. Once you have this Ags, you are going to sprint around really quick with your IO, but 496 doesn't seem to want to wait for that. They are smoked up.
That they are, but can they fight? This mid T1 tower, it is slowly dropping, so they have very good vision over Neon Esports at the moment. This might be their best opportunity to get in and try and fight. Problem is JG's the only one showing at that tier 1, but now Skem does pop up as well, and Hung wants a pretty big arena here. They toss him in, straight onto JG. With the spear out, they do lock down the Slana, but Yopaj in with the epicenter and the burrow. Joe Cam's about to drop. Looks like he just made Yopaj. He will survive through the Laguna onto Hung, who will also die in JG. He's been battle tranced by Drew. Does get ensnared and does go down. A 1 for 3 buyback committed by Hung. They're going to go back in now. A great double stun out with a double LSA out from Playhard into the decays. Januel just stealing the strength away, and Hung, he just died back. They'll get Playhard, but at what cost?
Oh, God.
Skem will take a double. That's only going to help him get his Aghanims that much faster. They relocate out. They want more after Drew, but he will be out of range. That's going to make it a 19 to 10, and I believe for the first time this game, we have a net worth lead over 1K. 2K now for Neon Esports.
Swings big. It's not done yet. They just keep going.
This is 496 versus Neon for you. Hex out from Bombi to try and slow down the Slaughter with a nice LSA out from Joe Cam. Skem, though, just does not care. He'll just keep rushing forward. Bombi,
oh my God.
He's just going to die to the IO. Without the Aghanim Scepter up. Yeah, the Implore on Skem. What did they rate it on the tier list, John, the panel?
C? Was it C?
Oh,
I think it was C,
never
right?
mind. They put my
C or B?
They put my arcane ring at like D or something, John. I won't forgive them for that.
I'm gonna have to have a chat with him, but still, Mike widens out to 3K now. Neon looking to really start to take control. They're hitting their big talent spikes and big item spikes as well. I want to point out, Play Hard. In that first engagement, Mike, he lived with like 25 HP. He just backed off. He got to cast those LSAs because of it, and you have to be able to find these squishier targets if you're 496. They jump in, they get a big arena. That's great. They try to isolate the IO, but if you don't kill off heroes like the Rubik, I mean, they get so much value when they get that additional control and Play Hard. We've seen this throughout different tournaments for Neon. He is really one of the key playmakers. He just sets up for the team, and his Rubik in this game is just putting on quite the performance.
Love me a Play Hard Rubik. Still, we got to look over to 496 and see what's going on their side of things. I mean, Drew's got the BKB up, and he is still top of the net worth board. So things are looking up here for 496, but I don't know. I get worried with these position 1 IOs. It just feels like once you have the Axe plus the level 20 talent, it just seems so impossible to fight against it. And it's getting close to that point, John. Skem is about to hit level 16. He has the Ags up, I believe, and yeah, there it is.
Oh boy.
So now you've just got unlimited spirits just flying around you constantly. And once that level 20 talent's up, even with these BKBs, I just don't know how they're going to fight into it.
No, it's going to be difficult. I'd say you tend to want to see maybe something like a pipe. You just don't have a natural aura carrier here for 496. That's going to be an issue they'll have to solve somehow. You also have the Ags up on JG, and that's going to be able to Rosh. They've got the Corrosive Haze. They can melt right through. 496 are smoked up, though. They could fight this.
Yeah, it's a nice smoke here from 496. They're going to try and make sure this Roshan does not go down for free. And in all fairness, Neon have back-to-back. They're going to go in, but JG doesn't get the Blink Still Yopaj. Does get the double Burrow Strike off, aiming straight for that BB. They'll get the Tiny into the Shaman, and Bombi will drop. Hung trying to run, but there's the relocate. He'll drop the arena. He does get a nice spear off, but is it gonna matter? There is just way too much sustain, and Yopaj will pick up a double kill on the Sand King. Neon, they're making this game look easy now. Back into the Roshan. We've got to look to Drew to see what he's up to on this troll, but he's just trying to work towards the MKB, John. He's going to be a while off being at that point where he feels comfortable to try and fight with his team. And Neon, they're getting a free Roshan.
Yeah, you just can't stop it anymore after that one. 496, their game plan's a bit cleared out. If they can stall out, they can maybe get a good bounce back in. But we're talking about a 5k lead now for Neon. We're talking about the Aegis coming through. Skem has 2 lives. You couldn't handle him at 1. Now you've got to try to dig through that IO twice and kind of throw everything, including the kitchen sink out there to just kill him off. Neon, it's just a bit much. Like the timing of the IO Ags plus the Slardar Ags, the sustain they're getting out, the crush, the damage coming through, it's just all too much. And now Bombi as well.
Bombi, yeah. It's your classic Shaman game, John. It's your classic Shadow Shaman game. Picking this hero just feels like you die all the time. There's no way around it. Still JG, gonna go for more now. Burrow Strike out from Yopaj underneath the tier 2 towers. This is dangerous, but Skem TP's in with the relocate. Yopaj is going to pop his BKB, and now the arena is dropped onto JG with the spear, but it's just not going to be enough. Hung needs to run. JG is hitting way too hard. Januar going to come in for a soul rip just to make sure JG's healthy. Yopaj, he epicenters just for good measure, just to make sure he's dead. There will be no grave for Hung. So Yopaj destroys the earth beneath him, and well, they even take all the bounty runes off the map. And Drew, he has to be careful, John. He's running straight into Januar right now. With that BB, they do kill off the Undying. Looks like Yopaj does not want to try and fight into that. And why would he anyway? Neon, they're just happily taking a mid-tier 2 tower. They don't mind their Undying dying.
No, it's a perfectly fine trade. You get a bigger objective. That top jungle now is not very safe for 496. They still have access with their tier 2 top, but that's not going to be super safe. They need to play at the bot lane now. Play in that bot jungle. They've got the wards there. We haven't seen Neon really invest in this area, but they haven't really played here as well. So I don't think Neon minds that too much. The disarm there as well from that last fight. But Drew cannot handle it. He got disarmed in the arena. That forced him out of it. And he just had to leave Hunk for that. The timing of the items here on Neon causing so many issues for 496. They still need to get the farm. Look, I mean, we've talked about the MKB for Drew. He's just going straight into the Satanic. That's going to give him some good stat resist there as well to kind of help him through that control. But it needs to come out fast, and it just feels a bit too slow.
Oh, that BB. Yeah, that is not the position, sir. I'm looking for a ward he was placing. He wasn't placing any such thing. In fact, Jocam now also going to get caught out. Skem will take that kill for himself. You've just got to be very careful about your positioning if you're 496 in this game, number 1. It just feels like they are playing way too far forward, considering their current circumstances. They can't survive if they get stunned once.
No, it's really easy for Neon to kind of burst you down. And, you know, quite frankly, Mike, this draft from Neon is probably one of the most perfect core IO games we've seen, at least here in C, for the Monster Energy Summit 13, right? Like, it's a perfect game for Skem. He's 5-1-11. He got his Ags really early on. He got his Halberd up at a really timely point, and then he's going to get BKB as well, and he's about to hit its level 20 talent. So if you thought he was doing good damage already, it's just gonna get a little bit more ridiculous with it's just too much for 496 right now. I think 496 need to find a way to split up Neon But every time they do that, they have to be ready for relocate plays. It just makes it so hard for 496 to kind of play that hit. Their best target's more than likely just trying to lock down Playhard. He's the squishiest. But Playhard's been super disciplined. The only hero they can really find is John Yuel, and an Undying with, you know, with the Vlad's up already, with his Tranks done, and kind of saving into his Glimmer Cape. I think even if you hunt that Undying, it's not a big issue.
Apparently Bombi just dies to Skem there, down the bot lane and mid lane. Epicenter out from Yopaj onto Hung. He's going to drop the arena. He's still in that sandstorm taking damage. He'll try to run out of there. It looks like he's going to be alright as now that BB jumps in for a nice avalanche toss.
What?
Laguna just not going to be enough damage, but they get the final right click off in time. That is a tanky boy, but they do at least kill off Yopaj. Meanwhile, looks like Hung has actually had an arena dropped on himself. Yeah. Everything's just looking fine here.
It's really smooth. Neon, now, the one time 496 does make it work in that last fight is because they're aware of Skem, of where Skem is. They know he didn't have relocate then. They managed to find that isolation. Neon needs to play with her IO, kind of be a bit more disciplined. One slip up like that isn't too bad. But if you start bleeding these kills away, they could make something happen with the smoke.
Big smoke up. That BB spotted though, the tombstone. Great placement from Januel. Just catching everyone. He drops the Serpent Wards on top of the high ground Bombi. He's trying to take out the tombstone. He does get it, but at what cost? It just looks like they are just too far gone. Drew at least killing off one. He does kill off Januel, but that is just the Undying. He's onto JG now, but he is getting bashed and stunned constantly. Still going, but here comes Yopaj. Hung, he drops the arena. He's trying to fight back.
No.
But they just can't. They just can't kill Skem. An ultra kill out for our IO. Oh, and it's going to be a 14k net worth lead now. A full team wipe out for Neon. I am loving what I'm seeing here from game one.
They're just playing around their cores perfectly. They're getting their spacing right. The tombstone of John Yuel to always force these Serpent Wards elsewhere. It's just insane. Like 496 do not have cores that can turn around there. They don't want Drew focusing on it. They have to get the damage out. And it's splitting up these fights. You're basically fighting the heroes and the tombstone.
Nice toss into the tier 4 towers. It is going to be onto JG, but he's a pretty tanky target. They'll drop the Laguna, but Yopaj just jumps in for the epicenter. He'll get two of them straight off the bat. JG's killed the other. Poor old Bombi just going to go down to the slaughter. And was that a Heart of Tarask I saw on Skem?
Oh, yes. It's flying out, Mike. Yeah, if you had issues killing him, I mean, I don't know what you do now. Like, he's got all this strength. He's got passive regen as well if he gets it off to keep JG up. They're just going to lose these racks. Now, it's only one set. They've still got tier 2s on the sides. So 496 isn't out of it yet, but they're 20k behind now.
They're going to try. Arena has been dropped. They're going to try and fight back here underneath the tier 4s, but even underneath those tier 4s, it's not looking great, but they do get Skem. Drew with the battle trance, does kill one. Now a nice shackles, but Yopaj again with the double burrow strike out into Bombi. He's dropping low, but Drew wants to keep trying to fight back. Bombi about to drop and does finally go down, and now another double burrow strike. Yopaj, he just can't miss. And they get Skem, which is really good, but apart from that, they don't get anyone else. They're still dropping like flies. And Yopaj, he's hunting for that BB. Hung's gonna buy back. But is he going to be able to get anything out of this buyback? Probably not.
No, it's too late. They retreat already. Neon found the objectives. They maybe overstayed their welcome a bit playing around there, but overall they're going to be happy. 23k lead, 40 to 15, 30 minutes in. And that's 55 kills at 30 minutes in. It's, you know, it's classic Southeast Asia. Bash your head against a wall, run him down. Neon, they've really got control in this game. They're a mile ahead. 496 still need a couple more items here on Drew to really get him online. Even that BB is kind of tapered off as the Tiny. In fact, tapered off is pretty kind. He's behind John Yuel's Undying. He is just so poor as this pos 3 Tiny, and when you've got a core shut down that hard, it makes that BB's job that much harder. Like, he's got Blink Echo Saber, but there's not much more you can expect. They need to start finding a way to pierce through the backline, and I mean, the Desolator timing was really good for Hung, but it hasn't paid off in a big way just yet. So 496 have got to solve their issues, and I don't see any answer coming in time soon.
Lane. They're looking at Hung. Oh, Burrow Strike is out from Yopaj. He's going to go straight onto that BB, but they do drop the arena onto Play Hard. Problem is, you've already lost the Tiny. That BB is gone. Play Hard might die, but he keeps up and he's surviving for now. They heal him up again. Now the Burrow Epi is just out. This game is looking to be very, very over. There is no buybacks left on the side of 496. And there you go. They call it GG. Neon Esports. Game 1 will go in a very convincing fashion their way. Of course, this is a best of 3 lower bracket round of 1, so you aren't out of it yet if you're 496, but you almost certainly need to win the next game if you do plan to go on in this lower bracket.
Yeah, I mean, Neon just played perfectly. Again, both teams have had an up and down here in the groups. They've been sort of struggling a bit. Neon a bit more, but 496, of course, they've had players stand in.
Yeah.
Neon just played perfect. You know, the core IO we've been doubting in groups because it's been rocky, but Skem shows us why it's so potent with that Slardar. They hit their timings right in 496. They're a good team, but they've got to step up to their A game, kind of try to work out those kinks in this lineup. Because if you let Neon play like this, I don't know about that game too, Mike.
I do agree with you, John. Now, of course, for anyone watching, you can vote for your MVP of this series. And after game 1, you might have already decided. You do go to bts.gg/monstermvp. That is bts.gg/monstermvp, just so I don't twist my words that time around. It's MLP Dota John X Fire. We're going to head off to a short break, and we'll be back with the panel to see what they have to say about game number 2 draft.
And we are back to the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13, where it's just looking like blowout after blowout. That IO draft 4 strength heroes into Rubik. How do you kill anyone there? Was pretty rough looking for 496 going up against that Neon draft. Gods, what'd you think? Was that as one-sided as you were expecting, or?
I didn't have expectations because it was just like a wild draft, I guess.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Neon's draft. It was fun to see it in action.
Totally.
All these tanky boys that you just couldn't really kill, the Undying Heals, the IO with the hard Trask in the end. Like, it was a fun game.
You were cackling in the little side room over there. You were really enjoying yourself, and I can't blame you.
Of course, he gets the Paladin Sword, you know. I
Of
love
course.
that right after we do our neutral
S-tier.
tier ranking. Yep. We saw
Look
the
at that.
Pupils Gift Rubik in play. You know, this game had it all.
And Yopaj, this man, 32,000. I want to see how many kills he got in this one, too. If we could pop back over. 13, 3, and 21.
Telescope and Ags, he had the longest burrow strike imaginable.
And it's on the lower cooldown. Like, so this is the thing. I think Yopaj is my favorite player off of this team.
Okay.
He had that Ember game where he, like, stole the Aegis in the midst of a Chronosphere as an Ember remnant through it. Like, he's such an unbelievably high-skilled player, plays very aggressively, but the biggest thing about him is that he rarely ends up, like, overextending, I think. He plays measured aggressively.
Yeah. I gotta say, Mars did incredibly well this game, though, on the other side. Like, as much as this game kind of turned into kind of a one-sided stomp, definitely signs of life coming from the 496 side, out of this mid-Mars, roaming around, getting a lot of kills, having some great arenas. It just felt like he was kind of alone as far as influencing the game.
Yeah, there just was not enough burst damage that you could quickly pick off a target before IO heals and soul rips all come into play, and then Slardar with the Aghanim Scepter inherently getting a lot of HP regen. It was just like a wall of green bars that you just could not penetrate.
Yeah, I mean, their damage was like, what, Troll and who's the other core?
The Mars?
Yeah.
Well, Troll, Mars, and who's
then
there?
Lina.
Oh, Lina,
Yeah. The Laguna Blade was not enough.
That flat damage is just never going to be there when you're going up against all those strength heroes and stuff. And I think that part of the thing that was so interesting about it, too, is that, you know, they ended up using things that were their strength against him. I think that, like, percentage-based damage is really important. But then also you got this thing where, like, you know, with the caustic, now it's a percentage of their HP. If that Tiny dies and he's got a big HP pool, that's a huge explosion that comes out. So there's, like, cool little bits and pieces in that, and I don't know. I think it was a good game. And then it wasn't. It was just a stomp. As soon as that IO just got into his Aghanims, it felt like everything kind of changed again at that point.
Yeah.
All right, well, that is game number 1. We will go to a quick break and then return with the draft for game number 2. And we are back with the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13 Southeast Asia region here in the bunker. Staying nice and cozy, staying prepared for whatever kind of doomsday things happen. I thought they said that thing works.
It does. Over.
Some of the things. What about this thing?
The propane tank?
Let's just
Well, you're just going to unscrew here.
Just go. What happens?
He's got a lighter. We can really test it.
That's it. I don't know if this...
It's actually a bad idea.
Yeah, let's keep this closed. That's one thing I don't want to know if it works or not.
Dude, the danger stickers are still on it. I can see it from here, so be a little bit wary.
I followed your Instagram. You were just
oh, that's true.
You were at Chernobyl, so
I'm well acquainted with this sort of danger.
Yep.
So scary.
The radioactive nature or the explosive nature. I've seen it all. I'm well prepared. Tell you who's not prepared. 496 was not prepared for that Neon Core IO draft. That was powerful stuff to witness. And is it ban-worthy? Is it respect ban-worthy? In other regions, IO is an instant ban. Here, not so much in Southeast Asia, but you show a core that has proficiency on it, and maybe it might get to that point.
Yeah. Probably ban-worthy. Just, you know, you're playing elimination, best of 3. You don't want to lose the same thing 2 games in a row, especially when it's something unconventional that's hard to kind of pair or strategize for. I would say just ban it out.
And because I'm assuming that they have that flexibility as well, right? Like, that's the real danger there is you could have swapped it up depending upon what you want to do. So in my opinion, at least, I kind of like the idea of just getting rid of it as well. And the danger there is that you leave open like a completely new draft now, right? So they're going to come in with like, you know, sensibly 1 extra ban in whatever the draft is that you end up trying to run against them. So you need to go to something that you're like super comfortable with and you've practiced a lot if you're 496.
Oh, the Yopaj Sand King. Does that become ban-worthy as well?
But it is pick-worthy.
It is pick-worthy.
Every game.
He proved it. It was, and I don't really, like, I was actually surprised that they ended up sending the Mars mid.
Right.
I thought it was more likely they would send the Lina mid. Does Lina not beat Sand King mid? I don't know what the situation is there. But the Mars did fine. It was just, again, lack of damage. And I think a mid Lina would have been able to have more consistent damage.
She's fragile.
True. But
range.
Yeah, against the Sand King, it theoretically works fine. And I think maybe that's a point a good point to take is like they need to focus on what they're doing themselves, not just worry about what to ban. It's like I think their draft had some gaps in it as far as just the damage output, some of the heroes in kind of unconventional lanes or player roles. Like, you know, I think having the mid Mars just isn't going to be the game winner for you necessarily. So I'd like to see them do some adjustments on their own side first.
All right. Do we have an expectation on, I don't know, any other new heroes that may make an appearance? Because, let's see.
New heroes.
We had Tiny was new for this series. IO was new for this series. I'm trying to think of other favorites that I've seen these 2 teams or this region rely on.
I would like to see Puck get picked up at some point. It's been banned out a lot tonight, but that's still just the hero that like epitomizes Southeast Asia Dota. And
do they still do it mid?
Well, yeah, and I think that it sort of fits well within what I've seen from Neon too, of like that fast tempo play style. If your longest cooldown is Dreamcoil, that's a fun draft to play, and it feels like it would fit with their style. So I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I think a lot of those aggressive heroes like the Puck, the Playmakers, the Gankers always fit the SEA style a bit. The Bat Rider's been popular. I think we could see some of that. Hero that's been banned a lot. I don't think we're probably going to see, but these teams love is the Magnus.
Oh, yeah.
Probably just going to keep getting banned, though. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think 496, I mean, they probably need to mix it up here going to game 2, so...
Do you want to revise our neutral item tier list after seeing that last game? Is Paladin Sword still S tier?
It's like
S++, double S?
I mean, I don't think it influenced the game necessarily, but it's...
They had 2 S tiers. They had the Philosopher's Stone and they had the Paladin Sword.
Right. And there were many times where that Undying got into a couple of items, and he just got really, really big boy mode.
It's true. That GPM buff.
When you see how big the Undying gets, when he gets like 8 or 9, decays off or whatever it is, he's his ulti force. It's great. It's like you feel like you're not even playing Dota anymore. It's some weird other mode.
I think a lot of skins have started to take advantage of Flesh Golem as well. Because
Yeah.
the old cosmetics, like I think only in the past year, like the one with the third arm with the sword, it's just the one in that game.
Yeah.
The one that looks like a Left 4 Dead clicker thing, zombie thing with like a flower coming out of his head. That's another good one that looks good with Flesh Golem.
I like the is that the same one that's from the Tombstone set, where like you go underground? Sorry, not Tombstone, like the Miner set.
Oh no, that's a different. I think the sword one is from the Miner set. I think.
Okay. Well, it's the gem. The gem is the one where it's like an agate. It like breaks open Undying. He's an agate on the inside, I think.
No, I think that's a different set actually.
Oh, okay.
That's a good one too, though.
Yeah.
That's gonna be our next tier list. Is some Dota cosmetics.
Oh, that's.
Well, there's a lot. You have to do
True.
like one specific. What hero has a lot of cosmetics?
We could rank the Dire Tide cosmetics, the Hallowed Chest one, because that one has a fair number. The Sniper one is currently going for like $400 on the marketplace right now. It's basically an Arcana tier.
Here's the thing that's interesting too, is thinking about it from the point of view of what is the most overvalued one.
Oh yeah.
Like the tier list relative to the cost.
Yeah, you're not just. Oh yeah, you have to factor in the cost for sure.
Right. There's some that I would like not get. Definitely Alpine Ursa, you're out of here.
Yeah, that's true.
Like that's got to be the most overpriced relative to what you're actually getting.
It's about scarcity though.
Yeah.
Right, but that's terrible. Who wants that set? That's not very cool.
It's some people value the rarity as opposed to the aesthetics value, which I'm with you. I'm more about the aesthetics. I'm not here. It's like the people who buy
Those people are dumb.
Those really limited cars that they only make like 50 of the type of car, and it's not better than other cars that are the same price. It's just
like
that
a Civic.
Yeah, but maybe if they only made 50 versions of that Civic though.
Guys, check this out. 600,000.
It's the SI edition.
Yeah.
You never know.
It's the gullible edition. What do you think? Paid so much.
What's the rarest thing you own, Gabe?
The rarest thing I own?
Yeah. What's like the one possession that you have? For me, it's something video game related. Apparently,
tell me. I want to hear it first. I'll think about it.
The GameCube Fire Emblem Path of Radiance game is apparently like before Fire Emblem became a big deal. I think with the 3DS games, no one really played it that much. It was kind of an obscure franchise, and so I have that game, and I got it from like GameStop used or something for like $5. It is now like $400 plus on like marketplaces and stuff like that, which is crazy.
That's
so
pretty awesome.
I think that's one of the rarest things that I own.
It's probably some Pokemon cards or something. Or
actually,
you know what? I have some really good Magic the Gathering cards.
Oh yeah.
I think I have beta set of like Demonic Tutor and some of these old like really good ones.
Did you
Shivan Dragon?
Did you like buy them at the time, or did you acquire them?
No, my older brother bought them, and then I got it. It was a hand-me-down thing, so I played with them too, which are pretty great. Do you guys ever play Magic or Pokemon or any of those?
Pokemon, yes. Yeah.
I collected Pokemon. I did not play Pokemon.
Oh, I was such a nerd back in the day. I am now too, but Pokemon cards. I never did Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh was like the step too far, but
yeah, that was the next generation afterwards. Elementary school for me was Pokemon, and then middle school for me was Yu-Gi-Oh.
Right, definitely. Oh, it's so good.
Anyways, there is a lobby. We've just got information. There's a lobby. There's a draft. We're going to go to a quick break, and then we're going to hop ourselves into the draft or lobby. There's a small technical issue that we've got to figure out, but we're going to be right back, and we're going to have game number 2. Guys, stick around, and we'll be back soon. Hi guys, welcome back to the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13 online. We just had to go quickly check what was going on. Unfortunately, we missed ourselves getting into the lobby. So the draft is going on. It's going to be remade once the draft ends, so you won't miss the game. However, if you want to check out the draft, you're going to have to pop on over to one of the other streams because of the delays. We can't actually show you the draft, but you won't miss the game.
This is what happens when the world ends.
Yeah.
You know, it's chaos outside, and we're just trying to hold on to our sanity here.
Everyone's fending for themselves. You know, an observer doesn't make it in the lobby, doesn't matter. The helicopter's leaving.
Yeah, but sorry about that, guys. We'll get it all sorted and avoid this happening again. But until then, we'll keep you company. We've had a lot going on. Gabe wanted to talk about neutral items.
I did.
The discussion never ends. We're serious about our neutral items.
Because one of the things was that we didn't get to talk about the tier 5 ones. Do you guys have a favorite tier 5 one?
Let's see. I need the full
Hopefully
list.
That didn't break your guys' ears right there. I'm not sure what that was.
Okay, so for tier 5s, we got Apex, Ballista,
Oof.
Book of the Dead, Ex Machina, Fallen Sky, Force Boots, Mirror Shield, Pirate Hat, Seer Stone, Stygian Desolator, Trident, and Woodland Striders.
Yeah. The hard thing with tier 5 neutral items is they're even more specialized than any of the other tiers, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, they're even more situational. But the situations they're good, they're OP.
So then what are the most universally applicable tier 5 items?
Like Mirror Shield, maybe?
Mirror Shield's always good.
Pirate's Hat. Pirate's Hat is the one.
With the new bounty runes, too?
Yeah, because that was the thing. Do you remember, what was that game? It was an Alliance game. It's always an Alliance game.
It's 60 plus minutes. Or Liquid.
Yeah,
these days.
Alliance or Liquid, exactly. And they got just like, I don't remember, it was like 10,000 net worth over the course of like 20 minutes or something crazy like that.
Dude, if you get Pirate Hat on Dazzle, oh man, it's good times.
That's amazing.
You pick up a bounty rune like every 30 seconds or something like that.
You can just switch out your
even
whole,
more than that.
You switch out your whole inventory.
Yeah.
Are there any like almost universally bad ones?
Woodland Striders.
I thought Woodland Striders, but better HP regen now.
Still.
You don't think it's good?
It's like HP regen alone is like,
especially at tier 5.
Yeah.
At that point in the game, HP regen it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it is like a boots replacement, so it allows you to get an extra item outside of your boots, but it's just like that's not like enough for me.
So Ballista is one that I find really interesting because on the right hero it's quite good, but often it's bad. I went up against a gyrocopter with an Aghanim Scepter, and he got a Ballista. And I was playing some melee carry. I think I was Troll.
Okay.
And I was just trying to stay on him, right? The entire time. Like, Abyssal Blade, I'm on him. And then I'm just, like, hitting. And then he's just pushing me further and further away. And I, like, pop my ulti. And I'm, like, trying to walk into him. And I have to go into, like, other ranged. And he pushes you outside of range.
I'm almost glad they weren't tier 5 items because, like, Bliss is one that can be, like, D or F tier.
Right.
Yeah.
Or A S tier kind of item. So I don't know.
I think Trident is always bad. I don't ever like Trident.
You hated Trident, yeah.
I never want to... It's so expensive.
Yeah, and it's like, if you already have maybe like a Yashikaya or something, like, I don't know, like you're some Zeus or something.
Yeah.
I mean, Zeus doesn't even buy, I don't even know who buys that.
It's usually
People
just the
buy
S and Y,
yeah.
And then most of the time you'd rather have like a halberd or something to do something more useful.
Yeah.
And 60 minutes or something, like, do you really have that item still?
There's been like some Viper games or things like that, which is kind of cool. So I don't know. There's times where it could be good, but I think we got some word as well.
Yeah, we'll have to reevaluate as the draft has ended, the game has begun. You will be guided through it by MLP and John X Fire as we pass it over to them. But thanks for popping in, and we'll see you after game number 2.
Yes, thank you very much, Tsunami. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for game number 2 between Neon Esports and the side of 496 Gaming. And it is MLP Dota and John X Fire. John, welcome back, sir. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, Mike. Took us a while to get in, but we're back, and we've already got our draft. We're going to have to skip through that. First game was explosive for Neon. They played their hearts out. They made this carry IO work. They played it so well, it had to be first ban. So now they got the Magnus Void combo. It is a POS 5 Magnus. I know you've got feelings about that, Mike.
No, hold on, John. Hold on. For any viewers that aren't from SCA and, maybe from Europe or NA that are just tuning in right now, Welcome to the true SEA experience. We have 10 cores on both teams right now, and we're just gonna run 5 core lineups. You know, Neon said, "Screw, we don't need support. We'll run a POS 5 Magnus, no problem. A POS 4 Leshrak seems good, and 3 other cores. It's perfect. This is SEA in it. What is Play Hard doing?
Oh, no. No, he's doing it too. No,
Yeah,
why?
Our Leshrak's hitting the Roshan. He's done now, but he was hitting the Roshan again. Anyway, we'll get back to the serious side of things. It could be White Monjon, I'm not 100% sure. Because down to the bot lane, we are going to have our Void being played by beautiful Skem, of course, with Januel there on the Magnus. They are going to be up against the Doom, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's already actually devoured a creep down at that bot lane, that BB. So early on, but of course mid lane, which is the one we're looking at right now, you'll see your Page up against Hung Hung. Now, John, this Batrider versus Quap matchup, I'd say it still should be Batrider favored, just based off the sticky napalm spam. The best thing about this matchup for the Quap, naturally, is you can blink away. So if he does go onto you with Firefly, it may not really affect you too much. But he can also go the Flame Break build, which can be just as annoying on the Batrider.
Yeah, it definitely could be. Hung's got to watch his spacing here, got to understand when to trade and when not to. So level 3 is going to be the big spike for your Page. We've seen a lot of Batriders just hold on to their level 2, wait until they hit the 3 or 4 mark to just get a huge burst of damage in. And Hung's got to be very cautious about that. They do have good supports that can rotate. That's the difference here with Neon and 496. They've got much more natural supports out for 496. And, you know, I'm going to look at top. You see Bombi on one of those supports along with Drew. So it's the Snapfire plus Spectre lane. That can be potent once you've got, I'd say, level 2 for Bombi, although level 3 is ideal. You can get the cookie play with the slowest you get out, and the damage from Scatblast is good, but the double stuns are good too.
Yeah, I'd agree. In fact, I'd say the double stuns are even scarier here, especially for Drew on the Spectre. So you do land that one Slaughter, Slivering Crush, and Split Earth will be there to follow up. It can be quite a painful experience. So I was looking back at mid, Hung. He is struggling just a little bit in terms of CS right now, John. 4 and 3 on the Queen of Pain. Comparison to the 8 and 3 of your Page and the Batrider. But as I said, I do believe he is going to be at a disadvantage as his top lane, Cookie. He's going to land on Play Hard, but now they'll turn around with that double stun, and it looks like they will get the first blood. JG, the one to pick it up on his Slaughter. It's going to be a very nice start for him.
Yeah, it's exactly what you want in this lane, and, you know, they're set to get stronger and stronger. Level 3 is another big spike for them. They've already got the value point there on the Split Earth, of course, and they're pocketing at level 2 for Play Hard, so you can expect more damage. Drew has got to watch his spacing. You don't want the last hit like this.
No, you don't. So spot lane, the one we haven't really talked about very much. Skem is up against that BB, and you do have Januel along with Joe Cam on the Mirana. And they're just kind of going at it right now. It does seem like Skem is not really